Well, everybody, it's been a while since we've seen the main characters of Merrifield. For those who are new here and have not been to a Ethauntia show or an EFP show, Ethauntia is a world of soul punk Victorian horror. We have been playing in this set piece for 13, 14 years, something like that, a while. It's transitioned through numerous different systems, and we settled on PF2, and I think this is kind of where it's going to stay and go into publication, and that's kind of what we're happy with, is how it's done here. And our players specifically are playing Gravelighters, and in this world there is no purgatory. Not only is there not purgatory, there's no oceans left anymore. They are filled with these dark tides that move and bring disease and ailments like mummy rot and ghoul fever and things that are worse, known as the blight or the bleakness. Gravelighters are people who are tied to a lantern, and these lanterns are pocket purgatories. They're purgatory wrapped usually in another demi-plane of something. Specifically, our group is the elemental plane of water, and water is rare in this world. So the lantern they have is very strong, not only because of what it can do, but because it's tied to a plane that really only the elemental priests of water can tap into. So super rare. And we've played 3 seasons. This is our 3rd season right now. We're about halfway through this 3rd season, little less than. And we also have been playing our Inquisitors, and they're literally playing characters hunting their own characters. And they just found out last episode that their characters may be guilty of killing 2 Inquisitors, and that retinue is hunting them down for it. And they have found them in our last episode, but we are rewinding back just a little bit to where we left off our Gravelighters last time. And they are in the middle of a cold, frozen tundra known as the Howling Straits or the Frozen Lands or the Frozen Waste, depending on who it is. These are unknown lands that are not marked on a map, even though they have been around for quite some time. For more than the 57 years since the Sundering has happened. And it is a frozen, shitty, magical wasteland of fuckedness. It's so bad, in fact, that they had to convince the people in Merrifield and the city on the move, because they can literally suck Merrifield into the lantern, travel with it, and redeposit it at certain locations. And it's so bad that they told everyone they had to stay in their houses, burn things that they have, and keep themselves warm while they wait out the week so that they can leave now that they know where and how to get back home. They know where to take Merrifield back to. And they're going to call the Tide Runner in, load it up, and get the hell out of this frozen shithole. But there's something they have to do before that. Everston's manor, or the estate, is owned by Everston, who is played by Todd. And that family was semi-wealthy back in the day, and they built a Thomas and I think farm equipment. Todd, correct me if I'm wrong. They built like large machinery for farming pre-Sundering, before everything went bad. And they have a really nice manor, and he has found out through the seasons that his mother and his father were creating these Gravelighter lanterns in foresight of seeing the Sundering coming and putting a place for souls to go, a purgatory. And outside of this very estate that they are standing, or were standing in front of, now Nora is just looking into it, that is snowing like crazy. Hail has been raining down. It's -40 here. And there are 5 people in like sacrament ties and bindings, praying to what looks like a priest or someone leading a seance. And Everston figured out that these people are trying to make themselves Gravelighters. They are tied to an old lantern. So they split up. A group of them ran back to pull Everston's mother out, which is Loretta, to speak to her. And they did, and her spirit is red, which means she's angry. Hopefully it's not with them. They're going to find out. And Nora is watching the gate, hoping that this shit doesn't go sideways on her while she's watching the gate, or finish while they're at the gate. They do know that they have time, but they don't really know how much. And that's kind of where I want to start. I kind of want to start with that piece. So let's see if the overlays, since OBS 28 is updated, are working properly. And we'll go over to this scene. It worked. It didn't work. It worked. It didn't work. Come on, Kelly's character. There we go. All right, Nora. You are standing outside of the Everston estate. I will pull up the Everston map. And I will. Well, first off, I'll pull up the map so we can see what this looks like. This is Everston's manor. It's in a little better condition in the picture, but not a lot, because you guys were getting ready to like redo it, make it look good, and then everything went to hell in a handbasket. So this is the estate.
100%.
Right, 100%. That's the estate. And you're standing outside on your Soul Stallion in the cold.
Yep.
And things are in the middle of whatever seance they are doing. So you're a pretty long distance from them. I would say probably, let's pull up the Merrifield map. I would say you're probably, and this map, for those who are also new, this map is slowly been built and made through playing. Not only our show here, but our ones where you interact with us, which is during, or even more than you do during this show, but during the town halls and during the Dreadful series, and now the Living Ethauntia stuff. So I think we have the old characters on here. We have our Inquisitors. So Kelly, if you want to drag your character out.
Okay.
And if she's already here, grab her. I don't know who she is.
No, I just put her by the banner.
Whoops. And we will add Let's delete these 3 off of here. Yeah, you would be wherever you want to be outside the main gate. The main gate is here. Okay. There is a bridge that goes up and over top of this building, and then over to where the pedestal is. And you can kind of take the spiral staircase down to a pedestal where they have the lantern in. So you could have walked across, or you could go right in front of the building where the train tracks are.
Well, I want to be standing on the train tracks, but
there's space there. There's space there. You don't have to do that. And there's a big courtyard that is there. And I would say you're probably, what is that? 100 foot probably from there to the front of the house. Roughly. Snow is definitely dampening visibility. You're not able to see a shit ton. You can hear them chanting a little bit while the walls block some of the wind. It's not blocking everything.
Okay.
What would you like to do while you're waiting for the other people to deal with Loretta? And were you there when Loretta came out, or had you already left?
Let's see. From what I have written down.
Pretty sure you already left.
No, because I heard a shriek from the manor, and then Loretta appeared drenched in crimson, and I wasn't sure if she had appeared before me or before the other 3.
Do you guys have any communication up between the 3 of you? I think Voss had casted message, correct?
I think I had, I definitely had, what the hell's the name of that spell?
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah. I will keep you 2 on screen so you can talk and transfer the things back and forth.
This card.
Oh boy.
And I'm pretty sure, or no, not telepathic bond. Wait, is that it? Yeah, because it was all of us.
Yep. Yeah, you got everybody in it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she showed up at the lantern because Kelly, you stayed at the gate, right?
Yes.
Correct. I was just wondering if Nora saw her before she left. I don't think she did. I think you had left.
Because we were all at the manor,
right?
And they left to go to the
So you stayed.
Platform. I stayed, but I have my Steam Stallion because if shit went down, then I could get back there.
Soul Stallion, right? You don't have a Steam Stallion, do you?
No, I believe he's a Soul Stallion.
If it's a Steam Stallion, I'm going to tell you right now that water is going to freeze real fucking fast.
No, I think he's a Soul Stallion.
that lovely horse machine that you have is going to have a hard time in -40.
I have the Soul Stallion, and then I have the advanced Soul Hound.
Okay, good. All right, I was real worried for you for a minute there.
Jesus.
So standing in front of the place, I assume you can commune to each other. Somewhat, you can talk back and forth, so there's a little bit of communication. So I'll leave you both on the screen. The rest of you should drag yourselves and put you around the area on the screen, which this is the area here. Nora, is there anything you want to gather or do, or are you starting an investigation on these clowns?
Yeah.
At a distance? Are you crossing the gates that are locked shut and magically locked shut? Obviously, Everston can open it with his key, but right now they are magically locked shut.
No, I know that it's very blustery and visibility's shot and sound is shot, but I've seen Loretta when she's mad. Like
you did, on your side quest, you dealt with her.
Yes, so I don't want to make anyone angry by crossing the gates when they're locked.
Are you gonna try anything from a distance? Any checks you want to make? Anything you're trying to garner from them, or are you just gonna watch and just be a lookout?
Let me just add this to case notes.
Because I'm used to Nora saying, and I start a case.
Inductees.
Every fucking time.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
God damn it.
New Lantern inductees is my new case.
Is there a cap how many cases you can have?
Well, I can only have 2 active per day.
Oh, okay.
But I can swap between them.
Only 2 active per day.
Only 2 active. So I guess I'm going to do. What is it? Reason rapidly, my level 15 bonus feat.
Okay.
So I can make 5 recall knowledge checks as one action. So this is what this is how I'm going to start. I'm starting an investigation.
Sure.
I'm going to use perception to glean what I can pick, like to try and pick up as much as I can from these people trying to start their own or make their own lantern. I do have a note saying that we heard Loretta singing a lullaby.
You did?
When we saw them.
Yep.
So one of my recall knowledge checks after I make the perception check is to see if I can recognize what that lullaby was from. Let me make my perception check first.
Boy, do you speak Elven? Do you speak High Court?
I do not speak High Court.
Okay, DC is gonna be a little harder.
That's fine.
Oh, let's see what you can...
Was I there for that before we left?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Gonna get my
I don't remember.
Out of here.
I can tell you the person who can probably make the check for the lullaby better than anyone else is Everston.
Well, yeah, because it's
his mother.
Right. But he's busy handling other business. He's preoccupied. So
the reason I'm asking is I speak High Court, and if I was there to hear it, if you asked, I could tell you what it was.
You're not. I don't. No, it just makes a DC different. It doesn't mean you know it. It means that, yes, you'll understand the words. The DC would be lower for you.
Gotcha.
Okay, so after a minute of watching them, it's now okay, so I get a +2 circumstance bonus.
Do you have any lore for the Never or for Fey Courts or anything like that?
I can not officially, but with my investigator bullshit, I can make one as if I was trained anyway.
Trained won't be high enough, so just do a perception check then. No.
Okay. Let me just double check and make sure.
You need to be at least an expert or have High Court, and you can do it at trained.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna have a bunch of checks that I'm making, so.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I already know how fucked this is gonna be.
So as a 16, and I don't know what you're taking for the weather and stuff. So 16 plus 29.
Yeah, I just haven't added into DC.
45 perception.
45. All right.
Yeah.
That's super high. You can hear them going over it, and in Hallow, you understand that the gentleman who is leading it says we're being watched, so he obviously can see you.
Well, I can't really hide in this.
Right, no, I know, but it's not like they're locked in a different place. Like, they definitely can see you. And he says that we should continue practicing this out back. And he says practice. So it looks like they are training in the ritual that they're doing. They're not actually performing the ritual.
Okay.
Which is big. That means it's just not happening now and you're not all immediately fucked.
Okay.
If it's something horrible.
Okay. So then...
I'm assuming you relay that back too.
Right. So that's... Yeah, I relay that back, and then with my checks for my...
Why don't you tell the audience what nonsense you're doing right now?
Okay, so first of all, pursuing a lead takes about a minute, but once I have that, I get a +2 circumstance bonus to anything involving this investigation, my active investigation. The subject is usually a single creature, item, or small location. In this case, it's this new Gravelighter group that's forming. So then after I did that, and Eric told me what he told me, I am going to use Reason Rapidly. I put it in the chat.
Yeah, I don't have that pulled up on the dual screen.
Well, okay, so your mind works through clues at an unbelievable speed. You instantly use up to 5 recall knowledge actions as one action. If you have any special abilities or free actions that would normally be triggered when you recall knowledge, you can't use them for these actions. So there's no weird cascading, but I still get to do 5 recall knowledge checks in a single action versus 5 actions.
Cool. Well, while you're making all your checks and getting your DCs down, I'm going to take us over to the
It's a good way to get me off screen for a little bit.
Yeah, well, you'll be on screen, but I'm going to go over to the big group. And I'll actually people can read it. I do have it pulled up on the other side. So Voss and the rest of the crew are all around the pedestal where the lantern is at. Merrifield is out. You guys are, I'll say you got like 2 days left until you're getting ready to leave, or 3 days, whatever it may be. Before that week is up and you can draw Merrifield back in the lantern and get the fuck out of Dodge. Loretta appears waist up. She is a dripping crimson red spirit She looks like the wounded version of herself, burned up, and the front side of her looks like she was hit with like almost like a blast furnace. She's got a hole in her burned through, and you can see an ember inside of her kind of ignited as she's flickering in and out of the material, trying to keep herself grounded. When that happens, the lantern starts to heat up. Like, if you ever used a lantern in real life, like one of those old Coleman lanterns, if you forget you had that bitch lit and you didn't grab the handle at the top of the glove on, you will burn yourself.
Yep.
It's that hot in negative 40-degree weather.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah. So it's like steaming, and there is snow melting immediately as it hits it. And she is speaking in high court when she comes out of this, not in Hallow.
Okay, what's she saying?
She is swearing about how the winter court shouldn't be here right now. That is what she's currently swearing and arguing about. Almost like she doesn't notice you're there, but she's saying the winter court has no right during this time frame. This should be the summer court's time. There's no reason for this going on. I can't believe that the Never would allow this to happen. How do the Fae of the courts believe that anyone can respect their knowledge on what's going on if they're just going to let people out of season? And she's just fucking going off.
Loretta, hello? Can you hear me?
She takes a moment and pauses, and she would eventually come to, but it would take a little bit. And she stops. Okay. The red fades to an orangish color, but the lantern continues to be hot.
Okay.
And she says, "Yes, Voss, I apologize for my anger. It is extremely cold here, and the winter court should not be here. This is a summer season. Going into fall, but she doesn't seem like she knows where she's at."
Love, do you have any idea where we are?
I'm in Merrifield. I can't really see anything outside of Merrifield when the city travels. I don't know anything until a runner tells us, and no one has been to the manor in over months, I think.
Right. We're in the Howling Straits right now. That might be why they're here. Also, what are they doing? Like, is that them trying the ritual thing? Kelly, did you tell us that they're just practicing?
I would assume that's getting communicated.
Yes, while I'm typing, yes, I would have been like, so there's some sort of lullaby, and they know I'm here, which, I mean, I can't really hide. And it looks like they're just practicing. They're going to actually try and go to the back of the manor. So give me a couple seconds. I'm trying to piece some stuff together.
Gotcha.
Okay. She says the Howling Straits. I don't know what that is. Is that something in the material? Is it an area in Cadra? Is it a site of war and death?
It's far to the east. It's like the Do you know where Holdenar is?
I do not.
Yes, that's
the dwarven city in the mountains, near the Maw and the Great Pass.
Right. Yeah. So the current that runs over those, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but the current that runs over those mountains, the reason ships can't fly over it, we're in it, only we're farther off of line from Cadra.
Yeah, it circles down and around, and this is a totally different continent.
Right, but we're in that stream still, right?
That's why it's so cold. That is a different stream, and then the Howling Straits cross. This is where they pass each other. So it is fucking cold, and the howlers that live here and the insanity caused by it. This is where they collide. So it's shitty cold, and you're uncomfortable, and you can go mad.
Great, awesome, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Correct, all those things.
You're talking about the winter court. I'm wondering if because of the fact that we're in this stream that we're in, they might have some type of hold on it, or some type of what's the word I'm looking for here?
The courts don't mess with anything other than the seasons. They don't claim rights to the material. They only claim jurisdiction over the seasons, the Fae, and whatever it is they may be meddling in, but they should not be meddling in the material realm like that. That is It's against all sanctions.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, love. There are some hypothesis that the reason it's so cold is because it comes from an elemental plane from when the Sundering happened. I'm just wondering if maybe the problem that you're talking about has to do with jurisdiction over something else that leaks into the material. Can I make an Arcana to see if...
I would say Arcana, or if you have a lore for the planes. Those make the most sense. Or nature. I guess I could allow nature too, because of it is in the material. Makes sense.
I'll take Arcana over nature.
Unless any of this stuff Kelly is making checks on right now would assist with what you're doing. Kelly, is Nora making anything to do with this stuff, or is it all different checks?
They're all different. I'm sorry, Drew. I wasn't paying attention because I was typing out my numbers.
I wasn't there.
What were you looking into?
So, Loretta's bitching that the
you're
Winter
trying
Court
to see
is
if
here and they shouldn't be.
If the magical winters and stuff is related to the Winter Court. I am not looking into
I'm
that,
wondering
sorry.
if it's. I'm wondering if it's because of the way the current works. If it's because I think we talked about like there's some theories that the elemental planes are actually coming from the breach into the other elemental planes, and that's what causes
there's a lot of
different
theories.
streams.
Okay. Well, regardless,
so,
that's not on Nora's mind right now because she's trying to piece together like what to do with this group of 5 people.
So then, does Voss want to make a check? And what skill are you using?
I'm using Arcana. I roll a 41. 26, 15 on the die.
For those who are new, Pathfinder 2 has very high DCs. If you don't play Pathfinder regularly, the DCs may seem crazy, like this guy is cheating. That's what these DCs feel like. It's not. So they're level 15 in this. I would say you got a 40. What did you say?
41. So
this is incredibly hard. Because planes are not something people deal with, but that still you still beat it. You don't get a crit, but you still beat it with the +10 difficulty for it being incredibly hard. Yes, you're asking if there's like a rip in the veil that causes these currents. No, for some of them. Yes, for others. The cold that passes through the mountain range gets colder and colder and colder, not because of a rip in the veil. Rumor and theory is one of the last dragons that died in the southern tip of that mountain range. The wind passes through its corpse, and that's what causes this.
Like an Odaric?
That's unknown. You'd have to crit to know more than what you do.
Got it.
The Howling Straits, on the other hand, is from the Court of Madness. And they believe it's a rip in the veil that comes through and causes it. Now that, no one has went through wherever that started to determine if that's true or not. But that is the most logical explanation for it.
Okay, so with that information... She's bitching about the Winter Court having hold right now, and they shouldn't be.
This is more of her. That would be like a high courtesan bitching about it being so cold, and the only thing that would make any sense is that the court took over. For us, it would be like driving along the southern part of Lake Michigan and blaming the Winter Wizard in July. She's basically blaming the people who make it cold.
Got it.
Thinking that they've done something stupid.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's better than what we thought it was going to be for now.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Like, I was curious if there was like some weird, like, the Winter Court had jurisdiction here because of the temperature.
So Everston's there, you're there, and Lillian is there. Can I have the other party members that are currently with Loretta either give me a perception about her well-being, or if you have any lores that do with dealing with spirits, I would allow that as well. He already made a check for what's going on. This is for something related to it. Our Gravelighter lore would also count if you'd like to use Gravelighter lore.
Would occultism?
I was actually going to roll on that.
Occult would not cover this part. Well, no. Yeah, occult could. You need to be at least an expert in it, though, for it to work.
Oh, I'm master.
Okay, then do it up.
I was actually going to roll to see if there was anything I could do to heal her.
Deal with that afterwards.
Okay. My perception and my Gravelighter lore are the same total, but Gravelighter lore is legendary, whereas perception is only
you can have a better chance.
I'd get better chance of that.
Yep. And more specific actually than perception. Perception
40.
would be like seeing what's wrong with her without using any spells. Like if somebody has spells to deal with undead and like read auras and stuff, that would help. But you got a 40, you said?
40.
40, okay. And what did Lillian get?
That was a 28.
Okay, well, that's not great, but it's good.
No. Considering that is
I'm assuming everyone took hero points for the night, obviously. You all have 3 hero points. For those who are in the audience that have patches, if you do have a patch and you'd like to give one to a player, put in chat who you're giving your patch to for the night before they draw their hero points. So we only give hero points out based on stream loot cards. And there's not a lot because we've upgraded the difficulty to get them in season 3. But patches work. So if you got one of the lantern patches that are numbered, you can give them out. You have to determine who you're giving them to. So you basically assign it to somebody.
So
you have 2. Assign it to 2 people.
You mentioned like if somebody conveniently had a spell like read aura.
Well, for spirits or something like that, if you were to cast that, yes. You can read aura on a spirit. It works on living and non-living things. Click it. Put it in chat. I'll move us over to the other table. There you go.
I mean, no, it's items. It's really items.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Target object.
Yeah, there is an object here that is superheating right now.
Ooh, well, cantrips. What kind of cantrip?
Nobody's short one, Amir, or Trickster. It's the fact that you would assign them out to people ahead of time. So if you want to give them a hero point now, they won't pull hero points from their pool to spend. Because they are, like right now, total hero points are low. Especially Foxglove. Foxglove is very low on hero points. So 40 will tell you this. 40 will tell you this. She's not only is she upset, she is uninformed. You guys have been gone for 18 months, wasn't it?
And she said a month.
Right. Mm-hmm. So she has no concept of time right now because she's had no communications with people, and she's not had communications outside the lantern. So the normal time that she would spend speaking to the Gravelighters that keep her informed, or people in the city that she speaks to, she hasn't been able to do. She's been locked away literally for over a year in this place. And madness has started to set in. Aura-wise, if you're going to cast Read Aura on the object, you focus on a target object, opening your mind to perceive magical auras. You know that the lantern, if she keeps in the state she's in, or if you keep her summoned for too long, it's going to damage the lantern. Because the only thing that can really damage the lantern is something of an equal level to it or higher, or the spirits that are the guardians for it, which are her and Nero. Nero primarily, but she is extremely powerful. So unsummoning her would be smart, but don't anger her while you're doing it. Like if you just whisk her away, it may not go well. Now, Voss, you had another question you said afterwards?
I was going to ask if there was any way I could heal her. Because it looked, you said she was damaged, or is her...
Can't use medicine.
Well, right. Is her, is her condition related to the condition of the lantern?
Reverse that. She's the condition of the lantern.
Got it.
Her and Nero are the condition of the lantern.
Gravelighter lore?
No, actually fettering.
Okay.
Fettering it will give you definitely a better version of that.
Okay, I rolled another 15, so that's a 37 for fettering lore.
37? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
Is it fettering lore or a fettering check?
It's one thing now, Drew, remember? It's one skill now. It's fettering lore. It's a check under that. It's been like that since we redid the rules.
I mean, that's kind of what piloting is too. Like piloting lore is for recall knowledge, but it's also a check to do the piloting.
Yep.
Well, for fettering, I've always been using occultism, so I need to swap that around then if that's the case.
You should be using lore for it. Occult is knowledge on undeads. Be like knowledge on the undead, things like that. Fettering lore is literally fettering the spirit to it, and the way of doing that, and how you do it, and what object you need, and how powerful it needs to be, and how to do salt circles. Occult is used for the salt circle stuff though, because you're not dealing specifically with fettering a spirit that's also in possession. So having occult is good because you use that for dealing with like demons and evil face spirits and shit like that. So I wouldn't ditch it.
Well, I'm not going to ditch it, but I'm going to put my legendary into the thing that my character does the most, because
if your legendary can go into that, you would have to check. I don't know how that works, but we can discuss that later.
I mean, I'm probably not going to roll much higher than a 15.
Okay. I'm just asking before I said anything. That's why I'm asking. Remember, the average DC right now is about a 34 for an average DC at 15 for your difficulty, unless it's something very easy. I'm just giving you a baseline so you know. And those go up and down by, minus 10 to plus of 10, depending on how difficult or how easy it is. But if you're good with that, you know that she's damaging this thing because you guys have been gone for so long and the lantern has been gone for so long. Her tie to what she's fettered to, like certain spirits can't leave their haunt or their fettered area too far. You basically went bye and took the lantern with you, and she's been away from her fettered object for so fucking long that it's kind of I don't want to say painful, but aggravating the spirit being the rebinding process of being near it again. You could solve this with some fettering and re-situating how she is, who she is, where she's at, all that kind of stuff, but it will take time. It's not a quick thing to do.
All right, well, I guess I'm going to try and start that process now by telling her that, like, if she's...
The easiest way to do it would be to do it in person.
So to go into the house.
Would be the easiest way. If you want to just tell her that you'll meet her in the house later, or you're going to be going home soon, or you want to explain it, that's going to be a check to calm her down to send her back to the manor.
I mean, I guess that's what I'm going to do then.
Cool. Do you want to do it, or do you want her son to do it?
Yeah. Mate, can you help me out with this? What's happening is... I think we need to...
Are you discussing this in front of her?
Not out loud.
So you walk away from the area. Like
no, I'm using telepathic bond.
Oh fuck! I fucking forgot you have that shit. God damn it! Fucking bullshit. Bullshit. Fucking power. 15th level. All right. So anyway, continue.
So maybe you should tell her that we'll meet her inside later, and I think we should make haste with that, but I think we need to get her back inside so that it's not making it worse.
Sorry that we were away for so long. It was against our will, but we are safe. We have returned. We can explain everything to you in due time. Please return to the mansion. We will be with you as soon as we can. We're not going anywhere.
All right. Give me your check. Are you using diplomacy or persuasion, I mean?
I guess I'm so bad at it.
I can aid in diplomacy if you want.
All feasible.
I'm fine with it.
She's like, okay, I've circled the perimeter. Let me Batman this for you.
Lucky 13 on the die for a 30.
Okay.
I am using a patch to re-roll that 1.
Okay.
So that's a 38 diplomacy to assist.
Okay, so you have to beat a 20 to assist. Did you crit?
Yes.
So you add how much?
I'm only trained in diplomacy, so
just
2
plus 2.
Okay, so what's your total then, Todd?
32.
Well, it would have been
dug out of the hole.
I will tell you, it would have been a
Original
34 if it wasn't you.
No.
And it's a 30 because it is.
You're her son, and she's pissed,
Right.
so now it's a 40.
Right, now it's 18. No, it's kidding. So...
You son of a bitch!
Yeah, so... You're right. Where's the keys to the fucking house? So...
Mom, don't call me a son of a bitch. You know what that means.
So, with that said...
Son of a... Oh, right.
At that said, sure enough, there is a slight, flicker in her being. She looks at Everston and says, how long have you been gone?
Told it's been 18 months.
Our house, the manor. There is no space left inside of it for Nero and myself. We have been sleeping in the guest house.
I'm sorry, I was unaware. We didn't even know we were gone that long. We are going to put this right.
Okay. All right. I will make my way back and speak with Nero. And she slowly kind of fades back into the lantern where you just see her face on it. When she fades away, the lantern's overheating slowly dims back down as she's looking at it with her aura. The damages to it slowly repair itself and it goes back to normal. Having her out for a long time period would be pretty dangerous. Almost catastrophic. Mayerfield might get sucked in, it might get blown up. But leaving her out for too long until she's repaired would be pretty damaging. Nero, you don't know. You'd have to call Nero to do that. Meanwhile, Nora makes her way around the estate.
So I put my 5 questions and my checks
I see them.
in the live show
already
chat.
got him. So Gravelighter lore is a 40. How long do they need to practice, generally speaking? It is a very old lantern from what you can see. You're not sure how old. Prith might be able to tell you more, but I don't know if you want to bring a dragon out to fly over the estate.
No, not right now, but and not necessarily that lantern, but in general,
practicing for it, they should have been, if they've been practicing for 18 months, they should have been good.
Okay.
So if they just started it recently, you should, if you are trained, you know how to do this. Let's say you just found the ritual to do it, probably 2-3 weeks to learn it.
Okay.
If you should already know how to do it, he's probably just training the people he's binding to it.
Okay.
So, a week, a couple days, depends on how well they're doing.
Right.
You don't know how far into it they are either. From what you heard, they seem to understand it pretty well, but they're not actually conducting the ritual. They are just going through the ritual. For the Arcana or Craft, your choice. Which one do you want?
The reason I put both was because I wasn't sure what you would want.
Up to you.
I would say probably...
They're going to give you different outcomes. They're two totally different skills.
I would say probably actually... I would go with Arcana just because I don't know what type of magical stuff that they would need to get this off the ground.
He probably has a book or a scroll or something that he is doing the ritual from. Lillian would probably know a little bit more about rituals and shit like that, being that she's a witch.
Right.
I'm just saying, Ooga Booga might know ritualistic magic.
Okay, so I'm thinking we've got anywhere from
a day to a week.
A day to a week.
Engineering lore, the best area to practice in. They should be doing it in the house. Why the fuck are you doing it out in the cold?
Okay.
There's a reason they're not doing it somewhere covered. And then legal lore. Are they under contract with the Mundus to become Gravelighters? That you don't know. They probably worship him as a keeper. And for those who are new, keepers are... There's one true faith in the major part of the world. It's a theocracy, similar to like Catholicism back in the past. But this is based around the true faith and the 4 elements, along with like healing and some other things where they saved everyone from the dark tides that washed in and out and caused all these fucking problems. With that, you would know that you could technically, with a ritual, if you could find a ritual in town or someone knows one, you could summon a follower of Amundus to ask questions. Similar to like Constantine summoning a demon to ask about their leader. Okay. So that is an option. You could probably, the Lectorum would be a good way to do that. Finding the right people to bring on board. When you're back in Cadra to the north, there's a lot of possession that happens to the north. So you probably could summon one of the Embers or one of the higher ups that work out of the north to help with that. And occult. What are these spirits ill with? Do you have spells?
No.
Kind of hard to tell, but the nat 20 though, being yellow. Well, yeah, being yellow, they're definitely sick, and you're guessing that maybe these spirits have been outside of the ethereal for too long. Anytime a spirit roams the material for a while, they slowly become ill and malevolent. Sometimes quick if they're weak, but these people seem to be like actually sick, like the spirit is ill. Could be why they're doing the ritual. But without getting closer, you can't tell much more about them. So you either need to go in person and like jump the fence, or you need to go with a group, or call them to the gate and see if they come to talk to you. As odd as that is to say.
So after like while you guys, so I think Nora waits because she hears Voss like, "Hey, can you help me calm down your mom?"
Yep.
And then okay, she's back. So I think like Nora like waits for all of that to go.
Sure.
She's gonna try and she's gonna leave the Soul Stallion there, and she's gonna try and hop off to stealthily follow them to the back while she's doing an info dump.
So you're gonna follow. So you're filling them in mentally through the link, but you're gonna stealth follow them. Well, you don't need to roll. I just need passive because you're more than 30 foot from them. So what's your passive?
Okay, so my passive stealth is a 31.
All right, piece stealth, Sonora stealth, 31.
So you guys just hear like, okay, so here's the deal. I did a little bit of thinking. It took me like maybe 30 seconds. I'm not sure. I'm still discombobulated from being asleep for 18 months. I feel like we've got like between a day and a week before they actually do the ritual. Apparently they've just been like doing walkthroughs. I'm not sure what they need exactly to complete this. Yeah, tech rehearsal, kind of. I'm thinking the leader is using either a book or a scroll or a ritual. So, Foxglove, I might need to pick your brain on that, depending on how much time we actually do have. Oh, hold on. I got snow on my face. I'm trying to stealth behind to watch them, because apparently, like, they're doing this out in the yard, right?
Yep.
God damn it.
But what they should be doing is they should be doing it inside the house. It doesn't make sense for them to be doing it outside. And when they saw me, the gentleman said in Hollow, "We're being watched. We should go to the back." So I'm not sure why they're doing it in the back. I don't know if like the house is rejecting them, or they don't want to deal with taxidermied animals coming after them, or what. So I'm currently sneaking around the back right now. Also, we don't know if the library's been fixed actually, because that was on fire in there. That was also nope. That was a lot. So then finally, I don't know if they're doing this necessarily because they're under contract to, or if that's just like who they worship in general. So I don't really know if that's an angle we need to pursue right now, but they are definitely sick, like very ill, like visibly sick. That might be why they're doing this ritual. I can't tell what they're sick with because I'm not a spellcaster. I don't have anything on me right now that I could try and take a look at. But I'm thinking just, from my how I was when I first came back, it might be because they were exposed out of the ethereal for too long. So while you guys get here, I'm leading the stool stallion in front. I don't want to hop the gate because I don't want Loretta to get mad at me. So I'm going to follow them kind of around the fence to see if I can see where they're hanging out and back. Okay. So I'll catch up with you guys in like 10 minutes. And then I cut it and I start following them.
I'm going to put us into like the downtime time frame, like large chunks of time, which can be hours, days, weeks. We'll determine that depending on the actions you want to take. So we're not doing like 3 action economy for this stuff. Loretta vanishes. She goes back. You obviously keep the lantern there because you still got a couple days before you can pull Merrifield in, pick it up, jump on the Tide Runner, and get the fuck out. Nora says she's going to go stealth around back. You guys have a ton of contacts in the city because everybody is in the city short of a few of the ships. Like the airships are not here because the air tower is outside of the ring. So when we're looking at Merrifield, this isn't even the updated one. I'll have to I have the one that has all the living Ethauntia characters' houses on it, and this one doesn't have that. But this is where you see all these airships over here. If it was in Merrifield, was in Cadra, where it belongs, next to the Arcodius Crater, the original spot, that's the air tower. But everybody else, as far as you know, has been trapped in this motherfucker as well. And then, or not trapped, they were in Merrifield doing their work, figuring things out, and then you brought it back into existence. So we do have a ton of the contact cards. If anyone wants to spend a contact card during their rolls during the downtime, I recommend it. Contact cards, I believe, are a D6 -3 bonus to your roll. So it's basically a specialist in town or someone you know in town that can help you out. If you look through the Merrifield paper doc that we have, there are tons of contacts within the city you can speak to. All people that have either been played through Stream Loot cards or that you guys have earned. The ones that are crossed out are either missing or dead. If there's a line through them at all under the NPCs. So you have Terry, who's the mayor. You have Jin, who's our Chite spirit. He used to work for the director of the Emerald Orders, but now he works with Terry. Randolph Gray, he was part of the Silver Spur. He is the only captain that is still here because the Silver Spur was in repair and he is in town. The Hound Baker, who makes cookies for all the Hound biscuits and shit in town. Tilda Bronze would not be here because she's outside of the wall. Tilla Bronze. And then the Plague Doctor's here, which you guys have found out some stuff about the Plague Doctor. We're not even going to get into that right now. Amber's missing. Pyre is in the lantern, and Briar is in the lantern, as far as you know, correct? Or Briar's not. Pyre is.
Pyre is.
Khalid is in there. She's the really high-end sorcerer. She's probably the only thing on the same level as you are. Both Walter and Angelo are back from the Bullet Parlor. And nice. Then Macmillan is here as well, which is the Root of Oak character. On top of that, there's the new agent that has been added that works with Shackleford Securities and with Lysynthia. So he's here as well. That agent has a lot of knowledge and stuff. The only people who would not be here that are major NPCs are the conductor, the guard on the conductor's train. Venerus would be here. Venerus Glass would be here. The dwarf would be here. So if there's people you want to help you, there are those. And then there's also the students of Voss who are here as well. Those two would be helpful. So anyway, if you think of people you want, and then you also have the Grey Lotus if you want to pay money. And the Grey Lotus has a ton of new abilities in their thing. They have Society up to a +5. They are experts in both thievery and perform dance, and they're trained in craft poison and deception. And you can hire them for money to do work for you. It's 10 per +1 for the society checks, and then it's 50 for any of the other ones. Just in case you want to hire them to help you as well. So that's the heads up. With that said, Loretta disappears, goes back in the lantern. It starts to cool down slowly over the next couple of minutes. You leave the lantern there. Nora goes and sneaks off to watch these people. What would the rest of the group like to do with the information and knowing that you have communication between all of you? And we're in downtime, like think big picture. With what Nora has told you and what the three of you have gathered, what's the first order of operation for the group? And I'll say you got 2 days before the city is ready to leave.
Okay, so because I'm just going, because I want to get this kind of out in my mind.
Spitball away. You're the detective.
Okay, so first order of business, if we only have 1 day, we really can't mess around. Either we need to come here so we can get permission from Loretta to discuss our absence, and maybe during that point in time, some of us can split off to research this group. If that is not possible, or if we all need to be there, I really don't want my first reunion with my son in 18 months to be, Kristoff, can you spy on these people for me? But we might want to look into that, see if he would be willing and or able. I know that he has some tricks up his sleeve, like that portable hole that he had on the train. If that was that real or was asleep? It doesn't matter. Other than that, I think really the only thing we can do is try and figure out if this ritual is something that is legitimate. Foxglove, I think I might be able to remember like kind of the motions that they were making, but I don't know if you would have a better idea of what type of ritual they would be doing to bind themselves.
I mean, she could stealth over to you.
This.
I was gonna say, like, do you want me to just head over there myself?
I mean, if you want to, sure. I'm just trying to get everything out now while you guys are still in Merrifield proper, and I'm sitting here, thankfully, in my cold weather gear.
I mean, Merrifield's cold everywhere. The only place it's not cold is if you're in a building.
Right, but I'm saying, like, while they're in town, it might be easier for them to get everything we need before they come out here.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I'm trying to think. Anything else? I hesitate to try getting a hold of a follower of Amandus if it turns out we don't need to.
I wouldn't do that unless Merrifield was back in its proper spot and you could call people to the lectorum. Then that would be an option. Or you bring Tilda over to do it.
Right, but I mean, that's kind of like her train of thought, like, let's take him off the table for now.
There's a charlatan in town, too, that swears they're really good with dealing demons.
Right.
I mean, a proper knowledge person on keepers.
Fortune teller, yes.
Yeah, fortune teller. Yeah. Trickster, we're talking about your character.
100% legit.
Yep.
He's already laughing.
Absolutely.
Right, he's already laughing. So that's all I can think of for right now.
So where do you want to start on the checklist while we're here?
I hate to be like, go find my kid, but that might be...
Your kid is not in the city.
Oh, okay.
Your ride is not in the city because he's one of the people who went out to figure shit out.
Okay.
You think he would sit idly by?
No, I was just wondering
if he wants to be locked in another prison for 18 months?
No. If he's not here.
Nope.
Because the keys to my skiff are missing.
Correct.
That's what she said.
There's a note in your shop that's like a list of notes that he probably has like a small like board that you two write back and forth on.
Right.
And on that in Hallow, or Hallow doesn't have a written language, does it? It's just spoken. Probably in then Cadraic, he wrote out looking for you. Leave a message when you're back.
Okay. Okay, so he's not here, so we might want to look into, I can't believe I'm saying this, we might want to look into hiring the Grey Lotus if we cannot split off on our own.
Yeah, they're good. They're good at gathering info. So, which of the things do you all want to tackle first is my question. Or are you gonna just go through the gate and talk to these people in person? Then we'll come out of downtime actions and we'll go right into you bullying people. I mean, talking to them.
I think that Lillian would probably want to go ahead and use Familiar's Eyes and send the snake to go take a look because the snake is going to be much better at stealth than her anyways.
Oh, okay. So your snake is gonna go, so it can watch. Okay. So I just want to point out, you're sending your familiar into negative 40-degree weather, and it will take damage.
It's not like it's cold-blooded.
So unless you have spells, while it is easier for it to do it, also might die, which is fine if you don't mind killing your familiar because you can resummon it.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Crafters,
but it will take damage.
can any of y'all make like a little snake sweater?
There's no such thing as snake clothes.
Let me just knit some up real quick with my.
You're better off going by yourself.
Just take a sock and cut the end off of it.
And then it slithers out of it. That's not how snakes work.
Bartleby.
As Bartle baby, and literally a baby now because there's no longer the ginormous anaconda anymore. So you're better off going yourself.
Baby.
You could just cast the spell. Okay. You are a witch that fucking follows Shadow as a patron.
Fine, I'll shadow walk on over.
Well, you don't have to shadow. That's like just bragging.
I mean, it would be a bit of a flex, but
you could just walk over there and then cast a spell like, I don't know, invisibility.
I don't have that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking a jet to the town that's 5 miles over.
Where are you going? To the neighbor's house.
Then you're just showing off. That's fucking cool.
What do? I teleport everywhere I go. I'm Nightcrawler.
I just put like 4 or 5 options in the live show chat.
See it. Yep, I have it up.
Well, for everyone else.
So are you sneaking over there or are you not?
Sneaking is a terrible idea for Lillian, but yes, we're gonna do that, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, it's snow. It is harder for them to see you. And you have cold weather gear. We've already established that. Everybody here has cold weather gear.
15.
15. That's not that great. No, it's take 10, by the way. You don't roll. It's take 10.
Because you're not
within combat range.
Yeah.
So it's just take 10, like passive perception. It's passive. It's a passive stealth. She's 14. Like 12. 14.
Close enough.
All right. 31 and a 14. Nora, you hear the crunching of snow coming around the corner as she's walking through 2 foot in this back area that hasn't been, dug out or shoveled, and there's 2 to 3 foot of snow up against the fence. You've made your way into where you can see, and you just hear.
I send a message to her like, I can hear you from here.
Just snuffling through the snow. And when you get up to where Nora is trying to be stealthful, they are out back. So if you're looking, this back building here is the guest area. They are on the far corner over here, as far away from this as they can get. They're in the back corner over here.
So wait, I'm sorry. So
just like
where I'm pinging, this is where they're at.
Right, that's where they're at. Is this the carriage or the guest house?
Carriage and guest house. It's a 2-in-1.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 floors.
I'll just move myself over there for ease of spying.
Yep, and I'd say move Lillian over there as well. As she crunches her way over and makes her way there. May or may not have been seen. Nobody knows.
I should have just dimension doored.
It doesn't matter. You still pop up in a magical blue fucking door.
Yeah, but it's 1 crunch instead of several.
It's still a bright flash of light.
You already said the snow masks the visibility.
No, I did not. Visibility of people walking, not magical doors that open up in the snow.
Listen up, Nightcrawler.
Anyway.
Do it in the dark.
You don't know if they saw you or not. You're watching them go over. They basically are standing under like a old, kind of ramshackled gazebo area. Everston would know this place pretty well. Along back, there's a bunch of grave markers and like benches to sit on. And they're talking to a man in a suit. You see smoke coming up in the snow, like in the snow that's falling down. You can see the ember of a cigarette. And they're talking to some man in this black suit. And a
do I recognize this guy from season 1?
You sure fucking do.
God damn it. All right, let me grab season 1 stuff. This is going to take a bit for me to find. Continue, sorry.
with being ill, this group, they do stand out when you're looking at like the spirit auras of them, but other than that, they're dressed for the cold. So they obviously are feeling the cold. So they must be material, you're guessing, or they were when they died, maybe they were in the cold, maybe they're local. I would need an occult roll from Lillian. This would have been a 26, but now it is a 32 because of the cold and distance. If you were on top of them, it would be a little easier.
Ooh, so that's going to be a 38.
Okay. You know that the ritual they are doing, they are practicing it because they don't have the complete ritual.
Okay.
So they are trying to piece together the last part they need to make it work. So they are doing the ritual every time and it is failing.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, okay, we're going to try it again. And they get together, start from the beginning. It's like getting into the fourth act and not remembering your lines. That's basically what
so it's a walkthrough. It's not even tech rehearsal. It's
no, yeah, they are walking through. They are doing the actual ritual and it is failing. The man they were talking to wasn't there before. And they're speaking to him is very hush-hush. You cannot hear it over the snow and the wind. You would have to be close enough to them or have a way to hear that close. But they are speaking to him about something. You just see the red ember and him putting it away. He's talking with them for about 5 minutes. And then he turns and walks around the corner of the house and disappears.
So during that, while Kelly flips through her notes trying to find this guy, because I know I had a list of like the different things that I found.
Yep, you sure do. I don't even have that journal out right now.
I'm looking, yeah. So I actually have a wand of mind reading because you gave it to me and I was like, I can't use this, but now I possibly can because I have trick magic item.
Do you know who could use it? Just hand it to Lillian.
Right. True.
Pretty sure it's on her spell list.
So I pull it out and I'm like, I'm about to start using it and I'm like, you can probably use this without having to work with it. This is a wand of mind reading. Can you try and catch their surface thoughts while I figure out who this guy is? Because I've seen him before. He was here. He was trying to get us to let him out. I can't remember his name. That's what happens when you take a 18-month nap.
Yeah. All right. You cast mind reading. What's my saving throw? Do you know what it is offhand, Kelly? No, it's a wand.
It is a level 3 wand.
It's her own. DCs are based on the caster now, not the item.
Oh,
there we
that's
go.
right.
It's even better. Yep.
Wow, wands are way more powerful in Pathfinder now. But they don't have 50 charges anymore, right? They're once a day.
No, because you use them once a day.
Yeah. And then you can push them when they break.
Yeah, spell DC is 29.
They have a chance to break.
If you push them, they have a chance to break.
So 29? Fuck me. Let me pull the 29's a high one. Who are you doing it to? The guy who is leading the ritual or one of the 5 women who are robed?
This is a big ask, and if the answer is no, that's fine. Can I see, like, out of the 5 who seem to be the most competent?
You know the one that he's speaking to the most frequently.
Okay, so I would say either the guy leading the ritual or the woman that he's talking to the most. Do not try and read the thoughts of the man with the cigarette.
Because there's the other 4 women then on top of that, so you want to do the woman, the lead woman he's talking to, or the lead guy? The guy leading the ritual.
Your spell DC be a little higher, Ellie?
Oh.
What's that?
Isn't it your spell DC? Shouldn't that be higher than 20 something? We should be in the 30s by now for most of us.
DC base 10,
DCs
proficiency, expert 19.
Plus your spellcasting modifier. Your spellcasting stat.
It's charisma.
I thought it's int.
So
It's intelligence
int,
for
you're a
wizards.
witch. She's a witch.
So yeah, if you're expert, then it's 19 plus your
your intelligence mod. So what's your int bonus? 4?
5.
5? So it
5
would be
plus
10
34.
plus that. Yeah, 34.
34.
All right.
Cool.
That's a pretty good roll for me. Now let me look at these. They're bonuses. I don't know if I can do this. Is it will, correct?
Yes.
Oh god.
I have to spell
such a
up now.
high
That's why I'm
fucking
answering for you.
DC.
Sorry.
No, thank you. I am still like deep in the archives.
What happens? What happens if I get a success? Do you just get nothing?
A success, you find out whether the target's intelligence modifier is higher than, equal to, or lower than yours.
Lower than yours.
Okay.
But I did make the save.
Okay, so that's all you found out.
Would you like to push it and try it again?
It's run round or sustained up to 1 minute.
Another citizen. Awesome. We have another citizen, and we have the traveling outpost. So I will say, if anyone wants to buy blueprints in Cadra, so if you need something right now, Yavik's here, and you can buy up to level 10 blueprints from him.
The one I'm looking for is level 14.
Yep. All right. Well, in case you need something as we're doing this, is more what I'm thinking. Or you can use the new rare blueprint that was just claimed for 6,500.
Sorry.
You can get anything up to your level with those.
If no one else needs it for anything, then yeah, I'll take it so I can.
Cool. Great. That's awesome. Are you going to push the wand? As Katie, as Serving Hands decides to gift the cast the ability to survive this conflict.
Katie, I love you.
Do you want?
I think yeah.
So what's the roll if she pushes it?
I think it's a D20 if you get a 1.
Is it really that? That's it?
No, hold on.
It's a flat
5,
check.
isn't it?
It's a flat check. It might be 5.
5 or 11.
Well,
11 sounds.
While we're looking it up, if you're going to do it, regardless, I'm going to roll. Still another
DC,
really good roll.
DC 10.
So flat 10.
10. Okay.
Flat
So
10.
1 to 10, it breaks, right?
Come on.
Yeah.
And 1 to 10, it breaks. 11 to 20, it's fine. So, roll a D10. I rolled my save.
D10.
And then higher, you're good.
D20. Sorry, D20. I'm an asshole. Wow. Yes, D10. Have fun, Allie.
Yeah, roll a d10.
Roll a D10.
Snap.
Sorry, it breaks.
That is a 12.
Okay, it does not break. Do you cast it on the same person or someone else?
Same person.
Can you are they immune to it after they make their save?
For an hour.
Okay, so
Probably yes. There we
so
go.
then you
then-
can do it on the guy then.
I'd say probably
The guy, then.
the guy.
11.
All right, let's see if he makes the save. Boy, this is gonna be a hard one. Am I as good as the? And yours is a 36. He makes it as well. His intelligence is equal to yours. So as you're trying to, and you see when you do it to him, his eyes flare blue. He leans around to look past them, and he starts peering through the snow. I would now like you both to roll me a stealth check because someone is actively looking for you. And then we're going to go over to Everston and Voss and what they're going to do, and possibly a new monster because Serving Hands gave me a new monster.
Oh,
14.
there you go.
14? That's
Okay.
in total. It's 14.
Yeah.
That's
I have
bad.
a +4 to stealth.
That is so. Wow.
I got a 37.
Okay. Okay.
I'm in stealth, so.
So a 37 means that you hide. You dive into the snow. She's standing out there, and in all of her glory, standing and watching, bundled in her clothes. And he looks. His eyes flare blue. I am not trapped here. I am going to send her. She turns and starts walking towards the fence pretty quickly, right at Lillian.
Lillian will walk to meet the fence.
Oh, okay. You walk up the fence. She's got a hood over her. You can see she's wearing heavy armor. Her eyes.
Bags, you're about to get dandied.
Yeah, oh fuck. Her eyes are a milky white. Her
If that doesn't work,
her
there's going to be some
skin
wrestling going on.
is a palish like purple, but she does have that yellow aura that I spoke about before. She gets to the gate and she starts speaking in Hallow. Do you speak Hallow?
In Hallow. No, I do not.
Cool.
The person hiding in the snow does, though.
Mm-hmm.
Are you about to?
Snack.
Are you about to like? Is this the episode of the sitcom where I have the earpiece in through?
If you do it that way, the DCs are all going to go up because that's just not that easy.
We're gonna Cyrano this shit. That's what's happening. It's gonna be great.
Well, I'm
also going to do lip reading, if possible.
Yeah, I'll say you can see where they are, but they're hooded, and their armor is the knee pads that they have on. They're wearing full plate underneath. You can hear it when they walk close. She has a weapon on her hip. She has a revolver. She has her hand on it. She's kind of pulled her robes aside. And she's wearing this like tarnished green armor and flips it aside. And she looks like she's ready to draw on you when she says something in Hallow and you don't respond right away.
I hear what she said.
Yeah, she asks who she is.
She's asking you who you are. I don't know if you want to give her your real name or not.
So I will put my hands up and, kind of like.
She watches you put your hands up like you're under arrest.
No, it's a like I come in peace. Like.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, sorry.
We're gonna.
My bad.
No. We're just greeting because she's gonna go. I'm sorry. I don't think I've seen you around here. Is that? Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. Can I recognize the language she's speaking in?
I mean, Nora would have just told you speaking in Hallow.
Yeah, I'm saying she's speaking in Hallow. She's asking you who you are.
I'll just say, is that Hallow? My Hallow is very rusty.
She keeps her hand on her pistol and she turns and looks back to the guy who's paying attention with the other women are now gathered in front of him, like guarding him. And she turns back and in a really bad Cadraic and common, like it's rusty at best. And she says, you are witnessing something you are not invited to. You should leave.
Not invited? Oh, goodness.
You're peering through a fence. That means not invited.
Not if you can see through the fence and you're outside.
No. So
it's covered in 3 foot of snow. They literally had to walk up and move snow, Drew.
I said a thought to Foxglove. I'm like, ask if they're the owners of the house.
Well, would you like to take that stance?
Well, I'm thinking like out loud, or not out loud, but through that, I'm like, well, they're saying it's private property. You're watching something they shouldn't be watching. Just ask them, like, are they owners of the manor, or are they there as guests?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you all guests of the manor, or the
new owners?
She would look back to you again, and she'd say, new owners.
Oh,
recent.
I'm so sorry. Very unaware. Old friends of the previous owner. Did not mean to intrude.
There is no previous owner. House is empty.
Oh, well, regardless, we've been gone for a while. It's lovely to meet you. I'm sure we'll see you around soon. We'll bring by cookies.
I'm gonna do sense motive.
I need some bullshittery from you, ma'am, as you're trying to kind of sweet talk your way out of
here.
While she's doing the bullshittery, I'm gonna roll the sense motive for them being like, oh no, this is our place now. No one lives here.
Sure, yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Okay. And then we're gonna cut over to Everston and Drew.
You mean breathing? You need Foxglove to breathe? Is that what you're asking for her to do?
Yeah, I need her to breathe. For those who don't know, Foxglove is a dandy. She almost got rid of it when she swapped her character over. And then every time she has to do this, she's like, damn, I'm glad I kept this.
Would this be diplomacy, deception, or society?
Deception. You're full of shit.
Wait, can't you use society as deception? I thought that was something you could do.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. They're the same.
Actually, there's a feat, but you have to be. It would count for this, but that's to see if someone else is lying. Never mind.
Okay. I'm actually gonna patch it. I'm gonna patch it.
Ooh. Okay. Use that hero point.
Ass and a half. Fuck.
That makes me happy. What did you roll?
That's a 30.
A 30? Oh, I mean, it's not bad. I'm gonna roll my. It's versus my perception DC, right?
Right. Unless you want them to roll off.
No. I'll just use their flat number. I'm fine with that. Perception. Okay. You got a what?
30.
She goes, uh-huh. And you see her start to slowly draw the pistol out of the holster.
Lillian will leave.
And she sets it down next to her leg, so it's out. She's not pointing it at you. And she goes, you should leave. Unwelcome.
Lillian's leaving.
All right, you walk away. Nora, do you follow or do you stay there?
I stay. I got a 43 perception to see if they were lying about being the new owners of the manor.
They didn't. They believe they are. They said it was empty, which is not wrong. If Loretta and Nero don't show up, it's technically empty.
Makes me wonder what's in there, though, if Loretta and Nero are saying they have to sleep in the guest room.
In the guest house? Right.
Wait, so these are actual people then? I thought these were spirits that we
They
saw.
are spirits, but they're spirits
They're
that
manifesting.
I'm going to
Same as
stay.
anyone else in Merrifield, right?
Right, so I'm going to stay.
Spirits manifest.
I'm going to send, sorry, Foxglove, but that was pretty useful information. Everston, they say they own the manor.
I look up to Everston as soon as she says that in her head. It's like,
And they're working, or they're getting help from Tyndall Cragen.
There's the name.
who the fuck is that?
Remember the 4 relics that we found when we first came here? One of them was like a beat up cigarette or like a match or something.
There's a matchbox.
It was a matchbox.
Yes.
Tin box of matches. It was blue and white. The front of the packet said Waylu. He was fine at first when we were talking to him, and then as we continued, he started turning crimson. We were gonna try and deal with that, and then
it was
I'm like, we were going to try and deal with them along with the other relics that we had found in the carriage house / guest house, but then everything with the whisper happened, and it's just been
sitting on the back burner for a long time.
Sitting on the back burner. I thought that we kept those relics and put them on. This is both me and Nora. I thought we put them on the whisper in the relic.
No.
Chest. We didn't?
Nope. We never got around to fettering or checking them. They're basically sitting in the room to put them into the vault.
Okay.
Along with tons of other shit.
Right. I thought that we had put them in there, but I didn't touch them because I'm not a relic person, right? So.
And last I remember, you have the cat's paw.
Yeah, well, Everston has that because we had used that initially to get into the manor.
I know that's not in the vault. It's not in the vault.
Yeah,
room.
that's Calliope's foot, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Calliope.
Okay.
So
for those who don't know, Calliope is the cat of Loretta's pre-death.
Right.
And it's a paw in one of those glass dome jars.
So these people
actually. Sorry, Kelly. Who has that? Who has?
It would be Everston. She's right. Everston has it. So it's probably the machine shop.
That was my next thing. I was going to suggest we go talk to the Leshies because they're on the grounds and they might have seen what was going on.
You got to go into the fucking place to do that.
Right.
I don't know if we have the time for that if they're working with Tyndall Cragen.
So are you going to A, stay here, Nora, or B, head back to the group?
I'm staying here because I want to see what their armor is. Like I was going to do another.
Yeah, that's pretty covered. There's not like any symbols or anything you can see. It's just armor. Like you would have to be able to examine them to know it, or they'd have to take a robe off. But they're in the cold. They're not going to do that.
Okay. I think I hate to say it. Sorry to split the party, guys. I'm gonna stay out here now that I've seen Tyndall Cragen.
Totally fine.
Because if he's out there helping them,
totally fine.
I want to try and catch whatever.
So you're gonna stay out there until they go somewhere else or finish what they're doing. All right, cool.
Yes.
So you're staying there. The rest of you, what are you gonna do? Are you guys going back to Everston's machine shop where it's warm and away from all this shit? Because that's pretty close.
What do you want to do, mate?
Yeah, Nora's
go regroup.
Nora's fine on her own. She's actually probably better, more efficient. If we're not with her.
Not a fucking lie. Not a lie.
So,
Well, I have an overwhelming urge to evict them all right this minute, but I know that we can play this out a lot smarter, preferably without violence.
At the very least.
So I think we wait.
At the very least, I'd wait till you get back to Cadra. Very least. Which is a good question. If you guys wish to just wait and like you do your crafting for the 2 days, the blueprint from Yavik's thing, and start making the armor bracers or whatever it is you want to make. And if we want to fast forward you guys being back, we can hit the train scene and put you guys in Cadra if you want to go into this place and move forward.
So if they, and I guess again this would be me taking group consensus, if what Foxglove said is true, and I'm not doubting you, Foxglove, at all, I'm just concerned about Craig and helping them. But if they don't actually have the ritual put together, then I think we've got some time, and I think we can make it back to Cadra to get more resources. Anyone agree, disagree? Everson, you want to evict them before we head back? Like,
do you want to evict these fuckers now? What do you guys want to do as a group?
To all of us.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
I think that's true. My only concern is the fact that they seem confident enough to be trying it anyways.
Well, they're spirits. They don't give a shit.
right.
Oh, well, then, cool.
Serving hands playing this card.
Time is relative. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're going crazed.
I guess my only concern is if you're saying Loretta's damaged and needs to be rebound to the manor.
Not rebound. She just needs to be attuned with her fettered object.
Okay.
She's been away from it for too long, like forcefully taken away from it.
Right. The reason I'm bringing it up is I'm not sure.
Higher rotation.
Is that something that we should start before we
card.
leave? Will the lantern be able to handle working and sucking everything back in?
Yep.
Well, I was just asking out want anything to happen.
No.
That's
That's a legitimate question, but yeah, it should be.
Smart question. Yeah.
Okay.
Should be able to. Shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. So if
Things
we
got
think...
a little better after I talked to her and she went back to rest.
Serving hands.
Yeah, she
so
does
then
seem
if-
calmer right out of the gate.
And then if we go back to Merrifield and there's no snow or not as much, then hopefully that would help too. So my vote is to go back to Cadra. I can keep an eye on them,
Yep. All right.
at least in shifts.
So I would say you watch them for probably another 20 minutes. They try the ritual 2 more times. It fails both times. He calls it for the day and says, listen, this is not working. Let's reconvene tomorrow. And they all separate, and like 2 of them walk off in one direction, another 2 walk in the other, and they disappear back into the ethereal.
Okay.
So it looks like they're only able to keep themselves manifested for so long to attempt this, which you would know just as a Gravelighter in general. Like, spirits, unless they are near their point of death or where they're bound, they can't manifest for really long time periods, depending on the spirit type. With that said, when they manifest and demanifest, if you would like to give me a occult check to learn what type of undead they are,
Yeah, I can do that.
I would be happy to do that.
Okay. They're still a part of my investigation, so that's a plus 30. I got a 47.
47. Do you want to do it on the guy or the group of females that are armored?
I'm more concerned about their ringleader for right now, so I would do it on the guy who's trying to lead the...
Okay.
Because if he's out of the equation, they kind of can't really do the rest of it as easily. So
he is he's not actually as powerful as they are. He's an incorporeal undead, and he is one that is usually stuck in a area that can't leave. And the only way they can leave where they are bound is if they are invited to leave. Similar to like a vampire being invited in a house, they are known as a buta, and they only really manifest when they think they have a chance of piggybacking out of their current situation. They usually appear as like animals and stuff like that and convince like children and shit to take them out of the place they're stuck. In this case, this person is leading a ritual, obviously trying to convince them to bring him out, maybe as a Gravelighter, to make him living again. So he's just organizing this thing as a spirit. With that said, they're usually tied to an animal of some form. They usually look like an animal, can turn an animal. The biggest way to know if you're dealing with one is they cast no shadow.
I mean, there is a lot of snow and stuff, but...
He had no shadow.
Okay.
Especially when you saw him walk off by himself, he had no shadow left. That's the biggest thing you would notice. He's not floating or anything like that, but you could, like, if they're in snow, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
And they all wander off. They don't leave, they left, the women left footprints and he did not, and then they went back into incorporeal as well and just disappeared. So you got 5 spirits, 1 ringleader. One of the women seems to be speaking to him more than the others, but they all do the ritual together.
Right.
And he's using a book. That is the one thing you'll notice that he has on him. He has like a book with like pages that are kind of fluttered all over the inside that he keeps reorganizing and sticking them back in. I'm assuming, is the group going to meet back at the machine shop? Is that the game plan?
I think we should. Yeah.
Probably.
So back at the machine shop with the candles lit around the table that's, you know, like this ginormous Thomas table for working on things. Is there any contacts that you want to call here as well during the 2 days? Or are you guys just going to craft, take the 2 days, maybe watch those people in shift when they show up each day, and then get yourselves to Cadra? Or do you want to bombard them while we're here and deal with them here in the cold and take care of it before there's a chance that the ritual is completed?
Lillian would like to make an impression by sending them flowers.
How are you going?
Flowers.
I guess you could pay a contact to pull flowers out of their house. You're in the middle of if there was flowers, they're all fucking dead.
I know someone who might be able to have some winter flowers.
Son of a bitch.
I do have an herbalist who takes care of my people eating vines in my office. She probably helped people get past my security after I was gone for like 6 months.
Eric's face makes me so happy when it does that.
I forgot about the botanist sniper who yes, she probably has winter flowers. So yeah, sure, Lillian. You can send flowers to the place. Where would you put them? You don't know where they sleep, stay, or anything. Are you just sending them to the front door?
I would.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you gonna send somebody to wait outside the cold to hand them to them when they see them?
Yes. Yes. I want to send us like. Okay, I want to find like
1-800 flowers in Ethauntia. Like what?
Wayfish. I want to find just a wayfish orphan boy like type.
Wow.
You know what? That orphan's willing to do it if you'll let him stay in the machine shop or somewhere warm, because he's sleeping on the streets and hiding under stuff.
I would pay for a
pre-warning. Don't let Nora meet an orphan.
I'll pay for a night in an inn for him.
2 nights.
2 nights? Absolutely. Sure. And I will give him some soup.
2 nights in a soup. Yes. I'll do it for 2 nights in a soup. Sure. Yeah. I'll say, are you going to put him up the Gray Lotus?
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Don't let Lillian Foxglove meet an orphan.
Hold on, everybody. For those who are new to the show, like Red and a few others, the Gray Lotus is a brothel. And an assassins group. So she sent the orphan to an secret assassins organization, brothel. By the way, you cannot put brothel in a poll on Twitch. We found that out. So, for reasons. So, sure. Okay. It cost a gale a day to stay there.
Cool.
That will include food, so you don't have to buy him soup.
Yeah.
It gives you 3 courses.
A little thermos of soup for the road for while he's waiting outside.
So while he's standing out in the snow with these orchid-looking things that bloom as the snow hits them as they drink up the snow, realizing he made the worst life decision because some pretty girl told him to hold flowers out in the snow. I'm not even gonna make you roll because there's no way he would win. He just does it. Instead, I'd like the audience to roll me a d20 for the 2 days that he stands out there, and I want to see if he dies.
I'm so sorry, little orphan boy.
He's an orphan. No one will miss him.
Give me a d20 audience twice.
Eric, for the next day,
Exclamation point.
Shot, lesser restoration.
1 d20. Let's see if this little kid makes it. D20. You don't need to put the 1 there. I apologize. Just d20. Exclamation point d20. Good soup.
That's good chowder.
That's on the other show. On Mondays, we have one that says good soup. Does the entire speech from that.
16.
16, okay. And then second day, this little kid's tough. What I would like to point out that Lillian did not say is that she gave him winter clothes. So
the soup.
I mean, he's like,
important
he's gotta
detail.
be knocking on. I asked him to knock on the door, like.
Wow.
He's not gonna climb that fence. You're telling the kid,
15.
Hey kid, go to the haunted manor that no one goes to, that everyone is scared to death of. Climb that fucking fence and wait in that yard until you see 5 spirits show up and hand them these flowers that are only good in winter. Stand out there that entire time. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Go along in your little boy shorts. I'll talk to you later.
It's really good soup.
Because if you'll remember, you were in Cadra before this, and it was summertime.
So 15 and 16.
This kid's a trooper.
Little kid stands in the snow. He's bundled himself up in everything he can find. He's stolen sheets from the Gray Lotus. He'll probably get murdered from that. And he stands out there until he does his job, and he gives these flowers to them. Now, I would like to cut us to the Gray Lotus and the boy showing back up with a small but very adorable white dog. Sitting in the Gray Lotus talking to the women that are working there as he's eating soup. I need, and I hate to say this, but I need you to know his will, while strong, isn't that great.
So let me get this. So like we hear this plan after the fact, right? And I'm like, Foxglove, let me get this straight. You hired an orphan.
Standing around the table in Everston's Manor, the camera looking at you, this nice, warm, super like 30-foot tall ceilings, beautiful wood workbench, everyone standing around it, and Nora's like, let me get this straight.
Let me get this straight. You hired an orphan, a young child, to go deliver flowers to spirits. After I told the group that one of the spirits, the man leading everything, tricks kids into agreeing to take him along so he can get away from where he is cursed and bound.
Oh, I must have been in the restroom for that part.
I mean, on the upside, if we can find this kid and see if he, brought a small fluffy animal with him, we might have an easier way of hunting down the ringleader and preventing their ritual.
Any of this at all. I will
So,
like to
Eric,
say that.
I put a contact card. I'll use that.
Sure.
I'm gonna actually call Gavin, the dog smith, to see if he can help us find any new animals that just popped up. I know he's not the dog smith, the dog bakery.
He's a dog baker. He makes all the biscuits for the bakers.
And he also makes the hounds, because I got
he makes the hounds as
from him.
well.
Are we gonna turn the Butai into a soul hound?
We'll use a contact.
Call dibs.
We're gonna go back to the very beginning. We're gonna go all the way back to the last contact that was played on 5/13/22 from DK. We're gonna use DK's contact. Roll a D6 -3 for your bonus.
Am I rolling it, or?
Yeah, you're rolling it.
So it's 1d6 -3.
Yep, 1d6 and take 3 off of it. Emotional HP. Thanks, Serving Hands.
Oh my god, emotional damage. I got a 6 on the die.
6 minus 3, so you get a +3 to this roll.
+3 to this roll.
Gavin tells you show up at his shop. It's fucking frigid. His place is super warm. Remember how all of his souls burn like normal and not great, not as good as the ones that Voss makes. They like overburn the souls. He's been working on it. It's a lot nicer now. There's a bunch of soul cookies there for the dogs. You show up and talk about the fact that this creature turns into these white, tiny dogs or into animals, and he goes, yeah, I've dealt with those things before. They're a hell of a thing. So even in the animal form, so you know, they don't cast shadows. But on top of that, if this kid carried it out of there, you already fucked.
I mean, I don't know if
that's
he
what
carried it
I
out, but I'm gonna assume probably.
Now it can speak to animals and stuff like that. He might have gifted the boy one. I would definitely say you probably want to check on that kid and see if that dog carries a shadow. Bring some light with you of some form, but they're bound to that area they're stuck to, and if they get invited out of there, you set it free, and they cause all sorts of fucking problem. But they corrupt wildlife. So right now we're in the middle of a frozen wasteland where there is next to no wildlife. Trust me, I've been broke since we've been here. There's no one to sell anything to. There's no dogs out right now. You may want to leave his ass here in the cold. What's he gonna do? Corrupt wildlife that doesn't exist?
Or is already corrupted.
That's already corrupted? That's my 2 cents.
Gavin, I've missed you, and so has. Let me get the name real quick.
Oh, you have a name for your dog?
Yes, and so is Duke.
Oh, that's right. You named the dog Duke. I forgot. The audience named the dog Duke because it was the audience, I think. He says, Duke. Oh yeah, he's the first one. He burns real. You should bring him back in for some tune-ups. I fixed that problem of overburning. I'll never tell that bird that he was right, but I fixed that problem.
Well, okay, I can definitely bring him in. I can pay half now since you're having cash flow issues.
No, we're not staying here much longer, are we? I was told we're leaving
No,
in
we're
a couple
not.
days. Nah, I'll be fine for a couple days. It's just cash flow's been broke for a week. Who brought us to this fucking forsaken frozen shithole?
You know, we really didn't have a choice in the matter.
But there's like one person to blame, right?
Yeah, in a manner of speaking. I don't know if I'd want to say that to their face, but yes.
I would, though. I would like to do that.
I mean, I'm not actually not throwing Voss under the bus, so I lean in and I'm like, if you want to go tell the Lady of the Tides to eat it.
The what?
And I back away.
Just leave him there with that knowledge?
Yeah.
What a dick move.
Well, because I got to go worry about some animal that has hitched a ride with a kid.
So I guess
I don't be like, okay, bye. I'm like, it's a long story. I'll tell you later when we're in Mirrorfield. I guess
then when you come back and you tell him the information that he, says that that's possible and all that kind of jazz, you'll get a +3 to your roll when you go to deal with finding this kid and the dog to identify if it is that creature or not, or if it's just a dog this kid found. Are you going to go as a group? Or are you going to grab the kid and bring him back here? Or are you going to send Lillian to clean up her own mess and bring him back here? How would you like to do that? Because I would definitely say I would not make a scene at the brothel.
No, so...
Because the city is very unhappy as a whole right now. Like, extremely. So interaction with the city as a whole, all the DCs are higher right now until the emotional HP is cured or healed up. Can't really do that when you're stuck in a frozen chunder. Even if you heal it, they're still gonna be mad at the end of the day.
Like I said, frozen chunder. I'm like, that's a totally different thing.
Totally different thing. Frozen tundra. So who's gonna go get the kid? Are y'all going or bringing the kid back here with the dog? You kind of solved the problem. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I have ideas, but I feel like I've been throwing them all out. So Everyone else can speak up first.
You're all around the table. You're at the machine shop talking. The building blocks.
What if we just dimension doored the kid and dog and drop them in the snow and dimension doored back?
We don't.
Wow. Okay. So,
amazing.
Abandoning kids out in the cold is not acceptable.
Oh, we might need another delivery.
Let me just write this down here. Leave.
That's not the reason not to do it.
And
Lillian.
And the animal.
And dog.
Which we're not
in
even
the
sure.
Snow.
Which we're not even sure is actually the creature. Why don't...
Rule number 1.
Fox Club, okay, rule number 1. We don't... What Voss said. We don't...
Yeah.
Are you okay? Like, I don't remember you making these types of decisions, you know, in the other...
Well, we were dreaming, so,
When you were dreaming. Okay,
Cool. I'll just put that as the number 1 thing in discussion on the board.
No, erase that. We're not doing that. Take that off there.
Number one
Stop
discussion on the
changing
board.
the font.
There you go.
He's easily influenced by soup. I mean, it would be easy.
So is anyone when it's cold.
And they're homeless.
Also that.
Everyone technically is right now. Well, I know they have
Well-
houses. It's just very cold.
So maybe what we could do is you could go in and see if the animal casts a shadow.
That's, yes.
Who's going to go do that? We're in downtown. One person could just leave this area, go check, and come back.
I feel like it would be a little less conspicuous if Lillian were to go back there. Maybe you have another job for him or something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so...
Orphan pets!
Question.
What was that? We're starting a new business called Orphan... Oh!
God damn it.
Orphan
Aaron, you
pets.
read that at the exact same time I did.
I misheard, and I thought you guys were saying we're going to start up a business called Orphan Pass.
No. It's like the U-Pass for orphans.
That's like, what I thought you said.
Wait, do we pass off the orphan, or is the orphan pass where we
drive
throw
by.
them?
We drive by
Like
when we
there's a
need a new
big ravine?
orphan. We hold up our pass.
And you just get
One gets
Pay
put
a
in our...
monthly fee.
They launch them out the window.
I just thought it was
Damn it.
like an Uber Eats situation where we have a network.
Just
of
want to say
orphans
for
who
the
deliver
one person
food
who was
in exchange for soup.
Yes, no. The one person who was at they're not food stamps for orphans. It's the U-Pass, O-Pass. I think they belong in our
Saint
new show,
Christopher's-
right?
Saint-
It's the new
yes,
show.
Saint Christopher's House of Resting
House
Spirits.
of Resting Spirits. Yeah. Don't ask. We'll tell it off air. We're not going to discuss it here because it's going to be a show at some point.
Okay, so
That's
question for
Gen
the
Con.
GM
Yes.
is
You don't have to stealth either here. You can just walk around and be social
well,
and blend
Lillian
in.
had a little bit of a bad time at the Grey Lotus before, but I believe that
I
she was
know.
dreaming.
We'll find out.
I hate that answer. Okay. Bartleby was there. I'm gonna say I was dreaming. So I'd be happy to go. I'd feel a little bit better, you know, nightmares and all that. If somebody were to accompany me, not just myself. Maybe buddy system would be best. Don't exactly.
You know
have
what?
a
I
portal.
absolutely agree. I think you unsupervised is a horrible idea. I'll go. Jesus.
Cool. So a Vogue and a snake person who looks like a human walk into a bar.
Yep. Team formerly dead is staying on their bullshit and being safe.
So you walk in. All I want.
Nice change of pace.
One of you needs to make a perception check. One of you needs to make a society check. I don't care who does it. The society is to fit in and talk to people during one of the shows. They're running like really small shows because they've warmed this place and it's packed. So people who don't have houses that are warm, this has become a centralized area in the city for everyone to be warm. And then I would like to know who's rolling those two things. I'm gonna take us over to the duo board, and we are going to put Voss up, and we're going to put Foxglove up. Let's see if this works. Yay, it worked. And yeah, I would like to know who's rolling which one. I'm assuming society is gonna be you.
Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah,
think
I
it
would think.
should be.
Yeah. Wait,
Okay.
which one?
What's your perception, Allie?
22. 22 to perception.
Okay, that's mine too. So
I think we have the same for both perception and society. So it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Situationally, I think it would make more sense if Lillian's trying to like
your society's
squeeze her
only
way
a
in.
22.
Oh no, my society's a 26. I'll do society.
That still seems
no.
low.
Yes.
That still
Society,
seems
yeah,
low.
master.
Oh, I thought it'd be in the 30s for her, because of the dandies. All right, that's still high. I mean, I have my DC written down for the insanity that you all are trying to do right now.
I'm gonna hero point that.
Okay, a hero point or a patch? Didn't you get a bunch of patches?
I did, yes.
Shit.
Cool. Another
but
patch.
I can replan those hero points though on break, can't I?
Yes, but you've spent only patches so far, so you might as well just spend another patch.
Okay, fair.
Save
I
those hero
spent a
points.
patch
I know you
as
did.
well because I rolled an 11. I was pretty sure I could probably do better, and then I rolled a nat 20.
Okay, so your perception's good.
Yeah, 42.
Okay.
Perception.
34.
So to make this look like you belong, it works. You're mingling well, talking to people. They're a little angry that you both are there, only because people have started to learn that the Gravelighters are the reason that the city vanishes and comes back. Like, eventually it was going to come out when you were gone this long. But most of the people who run the Grey Lotus don't care. To them, they made money either way. Money or trade or whatever, they survived. And then sure enough, the kid is sitting at the very end of the bar while this very large, burly man is standing there in suspenders. He has got lotus flowers lining his beard all the way down and around. And in the center of it, he's got a big piercing that is a skull of a mouse. And this guy's like 6'6". And he is the bartender and the bouncer for the Grey Lotus when the other bouncer is not here and she has been gone for a while. Agrun. So, with that said, they are talking to the boy. They are giving him food. You see him kind of laughing behind the counter, like happy that this kid is here. Overall, it's pretty happy in this place compared to the rest of Merrifield. And that boy does have a dog, and it is sitting in a basket on the bar. Who cast No Shadow? You needed a 34 to realize if it had a shadow or not.
Well, I got a 42 for perception.
Yep. It has no shadow. And it's just
Cool.
chilling and eating food that is put in the basket with it. Pays no attention. Doesn't even notice Lillian, or this might be a problem. But it's acting like a dog. Successfully. Everyone believes this dog. Everyone's petting it. You have your knowledge. Are you doing anything else before we go to break? In case I have to set up a bar scene, because you clowns are going to try to take this dog. And I will remind you, the bartender and the kid and other people who are at the bar, like talking and throwing food into the basket for the dog, as a heads up.
So I would say that I will
Or do you want
flag
to
the bouncer.
or do you just want to go back with your information? That's the other thing I was going to ask.
Oh, that's probably a better idea. I'll pay for just while I'm there, so it's not like we just like pop in and like, you know, like
I feel you guys buy like a drink or something
shadow.
and hang out and
Yeah.
leave. The little boy
Okay,
does
and
notice
I'll,
you though. The little boy says, "It's been wonderful here. Can I have 2 more nights?"
Yeah. Yeah, of course. He seems happy. He
Cool.
did
It's
it.
2 more gales.
Yeah, Lillian's adopting a child basically, but just housing him at.
You should really ask Kelly how
what it
that
seems
turns
like.
out.
Yeah, I'll put him up for a week.
Having
week?
flashbacks.
Interesting. Some jokers. So are you staying or leaving as a group? Voss, you?
We don't still have a telepathic bond,
I
right?
don't know how long that lasts. He could have recast it before he came in. I don't see why not. We're on downtime, so if he casted it again the same day, or you go the second day, that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, so we'll call over and just be like, yeah, no shadow, checks out.
It lasts for 8 hours.
Same. You would just say you cast it again the second day. Totally fine. It's just this downtime action, so I'm not really too worried about it. We're in a more about making decisions and doing it than the specific. I can't talk specifics of what you're doing. All I want to know though is, are you staying here and taking the dog, or are you leaving and going back to the group?
No, we're gonna leave and go back to the group.
Okay. As you exit out, a woman comes up and she slips Lillian a piece of paper. She's walking out like, thank you, like touches Voss on the shoulder. Thank you for visiting the Grey Lotus. We hope you enjoyed your time. And then she does the same thing to her, but palms her something as she's walking out.
Okay.
Do you wait till you get back, or do you read it walking through the snow?
I would dip into like we'd get a little bit of distance, and then I'd
like
be
cover on a building somewhere.
Yeah.
When you
I'm not
open
just
it
gonna,
up,
like pull it out in the open and be like, "What's this?"
or open it up.
I memorized explosive rooms today.
No, it says that the boy is safe here. The dog is also safe. When you wish to claim them again, let us know. If you wish for it to be taken care of, it will cost 150 gales.
Can you say that one more time?
The boy is safe for the next 2 days.
Okay.
If you want it to be taken care of, it's 150 gales.
The boy or the dog?
Probably either or both.
Could I use double speak to?
It's a letter. Who the fuck are you double speaking to?
Look. I'm trying to reverse engineer feats here.
No. No.
We're doing a try,
Womp womp.
and that was a fail, and that's okay.
No, yeah,
So
you read
thank
it,
you,
and that's what it is. I mean, are you telling Voss?
Oh yeah, telepathically, of course.
Okay. The group that works there is saying they'll take care of it for you. 150 gales. Problem solved.
Let's get back to them and we'll discuss it. I was planning on trying to just, I mean, it looks like a dog, but it's actually an undead.
Okay.
So I was going to try and seal it and fetter it.
That would be a lot harder. A lot fucking
Really?
harder.
It's sitting on a countertop.
It's not
like, oh, I
weak enough
spilled the
to
salt.
fetter it. That's not how it goes. They have to be weak enough, and a bunch of checks have to be made. It turns
And
into a
it's-
big fucking rigmarole. The thing starts spitting fucking blood everywhere. Like it's not just. It's not
And
just.
it's-
Hey, fettered. That's not how that goes.
And it's strong
No, I
enough
know.
to try and lead a procession into making some new Gravelighters.
Yeah. So
Everyone's throwing up.
Yeah,
their
but he
pea
said
soup.
it was not as powerful as the
Masses.
ones around it.
correct. He is not. He is not.
I'm also concerned about the Grey Lotus being able to actually deal with this.
They are now level 11 assassins that work there.
Right, and we're level 15, and you're saying it's going to be tough to do what I want to do.
In public.
Well, yeah, I tell the bouncer first.
That's like walking into a bar and being like, hey, by the way, I just want you to know this dog that's on your counter, I'm gonna put it in a circle. Some really weird shit's gonna happen. It's probably gonna turn into like a fucking undead creature and curse everyone, and maybe like you're making a scene in the middle of a fucking bar. Like that's just not, you're gonna get booted or killed there.
So my concern would be the Grey Lotus is like, oh yeah, we're gonna take care of it.
Take your
And
murder
then they end
hobo-ness
up-
to the alley, please.
I feel like they'd be like, oh, we'll take care of it, and then they actually keep the dog to use against other people.
Maybe.
That's my concern.
Maybe. But if you pay them to kill it, they're gonna do their job.
Okay.
So you get back to the machine shop with the group. New information is shared. You got a day left before the train can be here, and you guys can get the fuck out of here. What do you do?
I'm definitely team send word to the Grey Lotus to take care of it.
Okay. That's one.
I mean, if we think they can handle it, then yeah, let's just... If someone else is going to take something off our plate we don't have to deal with, which is also going to fix something on our plate to deal with, perfect.
It's two.
I mean, really, that just gets one more person evicted from the Everston Manor. So, Everston Estate. I'll chip in for that.
I mean, they already left, right? They're not bound there anymore because they got invited out.
That's dealing with one person. We've still got the 5, but if we take out the ringleader with the script.
But
take you guys back to the bargaining table. Okay.
I'm all for it. We should have started hiring out months ago.
In our defense, we were asleep.
That is not a bad play.
In our defense, we were left unsupervised.
Okay.
In our defense, we left everybody else unsupervised.
We need, junior Gravelighters training camp.
Listen, I have a detective agency. I just apparently haven't been able to run it for the past 18 months.
None of this is my fault, man.
Grave Scouts, amazing.
Okay. Grave Scouts? No.
The Grave Scouts.
It's funny. Anyway, we'll get to it. I'm sure. So, are you then giving the okay go? One of you go back, give the okay to the Grey Lotus to take care of it. Is that the game plan?
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
One or both is what you're asked. So you go to the back. So basically the Grey Lotus works like this. You sit down. They give you a menu. On the menu, there is the normal menu items. And then there's a price in between. You find the one that says 150 gold on your menu. You're given a specific menu. It says 150 gold. And they ask you, would you like one or two?
I feel like since we put the we don't abandon, like we don't put kids out in the snow, I think at least the group would have been like, we just want the dog gone. Leave the kid alone.
Yes, just the dog.
whatever the Million Fox Club decides on.
So they say okay, if you just say one, you'd like one, and they say, would you like it with dumplings or would you like it with some form of meat? Basically asking if you want it to be the kid or the dog, which is the dumplings.
Dumplings.
Then we will bring it out. And sure enough, they bring you dumplings. Whoever goes in to do this, out of all of you, they bring you dumplings on a plate. There is a white napkin with it. About halfway through your dinner, they bring back a gray napkin for you to finish wiping up your face and stuff for everything you eat. They send you the bill. It's 150 gales at the table. And then they drop a collar on the table in the cloth. Thank you for joining us at the Grey Lotus. We hope you enjoyed your stay. If you need a room for the night, feel free to speak to the concierge and they will get you a room. If you would like a guest for the evening, they can also help you with that.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, dear.
Excellent. And she walks away for 150 gales, problem solved. Everyone's like, why don't we send everyone here from now on? Like, I mean, it is what it's for. So they give you the collar back. The collar has the spirit fettered to it.
I will slide that over to Voss.
So if you guys want to question it, talk to it, do anything like that, you now have the ability to speak to it. Outsourced adventuring, correct.
Love it.
So
I mean, to be fair, we're now the quest givers at this point, right? We're level 15.
15th level, yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're the people who are like, oh, I don't feel like collecting boar's tusks. I know there's 2 on each, but you must kill a dozen to get 2. Welcome to World of Warcraft. So when you guys gather all your stuff together, the 2 days are up. The problem is solved with at least that creature. You do have a fettered object you can talk to, but there's more concern than speaking with this creature right away. You can just wait until you're back in Kadra, wait till it's a Tuesday, do it for free without casting spells, whatever. Really, the goal is get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And then once you're out of here, the real problems begin, which are, how are you dealing with the Plague Doctor?
Yep.
The avatar of Darkane, the Keeper of Nightmares. And then after that, you could maybe speak with that creature, but you also have to worry about getting Loretta calmed. And what are you gonna do with the other 5 spirits that are there that are saying that they live in an empty house? So those are the big problems we have up. When that last day happens, all the stuff we did in our last episode, we'll assume you craft, we can ask questions about the spirit when we get back from break, but sure enough, in the darkness, a light shows up as you're calling the train, and that whole scene that we did last episode of the people trying to get on the train, as Nora gets on it with everybody inside the lantern, they make their way back to Kadra. That scene, right before the train leaves. Nora, I need a perception check from you.
Okay. Well, at least I did good on my stealth check so that some people couldn't follow us.
You did, which is important. That's why it's 1 perception check for this thing.
I'm spending a patch
Okay.
because I did not like that roll.
Okay.
That was much better. I was a 14, 27. It's a 41.
So as Omar welcomes you on the Tide Runner, so Miss Tenwick, it's wonderful to see you. It's been a long 18 months of not having your wonderful smile on the train, which is not something Nora actually hears often. And he's like, by the way, there's another car that was open as well. Apparently someone else is joining us as the train is like starting up to leave.
Okay.
If you are interested in speaking with them, I've been informed, and you can see he's got the same thing, the squawk box that you have on the Whisper and some of the larger airships. He also has them on the train cars so they can speak to each other. But his is a telegraph. Because they have electric on this train, because you guys have bought a couple electric coils.
Right.
He's like, apparently, our lovely Railjack is saying that this gentleman is arguing about his right to be on the train. Would you like me to have Mr. Gandy toss him before we leave?
Let me see who we're dealing with first.
Man in a black suit, it says.
Man in a black suit.
He's just reading like the
Smoking?
Telegraph.
Smoking at all?
He taps back.
Honey catch?
Says, yes, smoking. Mr. Gandy said he would be willing to toss him from the train if you would like that. Also, there seems to be people running at our train right now, so we should move quicker than it's going to take you to run back there.
Ask Andy if he's human, abandoned, any weird red tinge.
Just as he's smoking in a suit, he has a gun on him right now. We know we are in hostile territories and we are not at a train stop, so he sees this as someone train jacking us.
But he's human?
He doesn't. It's a telegraph, man. He just tapped it a couple times and sent it to him. It's not a conversation. And it's way too far back in the train for you to run there before the 2 Hand of Flames are running right now. Hand of Water and Hand of Flame are running at the train trying to get on it before it leaves. And you can see them out the window as the light's getting closer.
We have a jail here. Put him in the brig.
He taps back brig. And then the train takes off. With that said, that means you also have the man in the black suit in the brig.
Sorry, guys, I had to make a snap decision.
Yeah,
and
no
if
one
it's
else is there. No one else is there. You just have a lantern in your hand and you're heading back. With that said, we head back to Cadra. The train disappears and travels through the Vale and comes back out in our normal spot with Merrifield reappearing in the circle north of the Arcodius crater. Airships flying above as the sound comes back in and the snow begins to melt because we're only in like fall right now. And it is definitely warmer than it was out in the middle of the tundra. As that happens, people run out of their houses, are gathering buckets and things to capture all the snow in for what they believe to be untainted water. And they are running all over the city, gathering as much of the snow up as they can before it melts. Because normally snow has that oily sheen to it, and this one does not. This snow seems clean for all intents and purpose. And the city is just lit with people running around. The train comes to park at the station. Nora, I'm assuming you are gonna, you just showed up. You got to give the lantern a little bit of time, but once you're here, I'm assuming you're gonna set the lantern down, and when you resummon the city, everyone else appears. What is the first thing you guys want to handle? When we get back from break?
I vote for the man in the brig.
Okay, man in the brig's the first one.
That's my vote, because that was definitely an unexpected addition.
Man in the brig.
I mean, we have man in the brig. We don't really know about him yet, but
Follower of Darkane. Avatar of Darkane, Loretta losing it, and the 5 people who are still there, the 5 spirits that were trying to become Gravelighters.
I would say Loretta first, so that we have her full backing when we confront the lantern makers. Then, when that's settled, we can deal with the plague doctor.
And then the man in the brig?
That's my opinion. Man in the brig, we can throw that in wherever.
Okay. So Loretta and Brig, is that the 2 top things?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
With Loretta, will we have to get to Cadra first, or is that something that we can do?
Well, already, boom, it travels. It goes through the Vale and comes out here. Lantern, like within 24 hours, the city is back up and running.
Okay, cool.
It's super fast. Super fast.
But we're not next to Cadra. We're
is-
at Merrifield's original spot.
You're an in-grad. You're in Merrifield, north of the Arcodius crater. You're not outside
It'll
of
be
Cadra.
easier for us to travel there, though. That's the important part.
Yeah, you can get on the train and just go to Cadra if you need to.
My thought is that if this guy's going to the brig, we don't know if the brig will actually contain, and if it is a true train jacking, we'd probably want to be
It's one person.
proactive.
It's one person. And Gandy will blow holes through if he tries to do anything.
Oh, okay. Then
Gandy is
that's
an
fine.
Thomas that uses a shotgun and a pistol, and he can shoot the shotgun with one hand and a pistol with the other. He is a ranger, and he is capable of handling a spirit, especially since the audience got ghost rounds for everyone. So he's just got ghost rounds loaded in case this thing is a spirit. He'll pump rounds into him if he needs to. But I will say before we go to break that Gandy does say the guy did not argue going to the brig. He's like, sure, yeah, I'll go to the brig if that's what you want. And he went to the brig without argument, is what he would tell Nora.
Well, I don't want to derail too much, but I would have, in that 24-hour period, I would have gone to see who this person was.
When you show up there, there's just a match pack at the bottom of the cage.
Well, he would have hitched a ride somehow, so.
Just a match pack. That's all there is.
Okay.
Now, if you want to gather that up or anything like that, you're welcome to. But there's just another one of the blue and white match packs. That's it. It's the not the fold-over kind, but the old box with the wooden sticks in them with the blue and white match heads on it.
Yep.
And that's it. That's all that's in there. The man's not there. Gandy's like, that man was there when I came to tell you. So if he's fettered the object or something along those lines, it's a little beyond my capabilities, but I'll keep a watch on it if you want to keep it in there. I mean, we're not going anywhere right away.
Yeah, keep it in there for now. I don't want to bring it into my office in case he is fettered into it.
Same old. He goes and grabs salt out of a container that's in there, and he lines the inside of the cage around it, just in case.
Okay.
So at least there's a salt circle there if the thing does wake up and try to do something. It's like, all right, well, I'll keep an eye on it. I don't need to rest. You let me know when you want to speak to him or you want to do something with the matchbox.
All right, will do. Thank you.
Of course. And you wait. Everyone shows up. Everyone gets out of the lantern. Everyone is at full health. If you have any ailments that are nightmare or dream related, you still have those. I don't know if anyone does right now. And we are going to set up to go see Loretta here after break. And it should be a pretty short piece if you do it right. If it goes wrong, it might be a break and we might go into the next episode. So we're going to take a quick break here, grab a drink and all that stuff. We'll be right back with the audience. I'm going to look over the stream loot cards and see what we got active. And yeah, we'll see if Loretta tears apart the Gravelighters. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. Press X to doubt. All right, everybody, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Enjoy these videos. We will say about 10 to 13 minutes. We'll be back.
After a dare to touch an ancient twitchy figurine.
Oh.
Spoiler alert. The character I rolled, her origin is velocity cursed. She is also an engineer.
Now, because we have this, we will bring you in. We're going to put up the death version of Kelly. We'll be able to hear you. The rest of the audience won't be able to. I will bring you in shortly. Kelly.
Oh no, she's dead.
You let me know if you are... So.
Okay, so I got to get to a 24 then, right? Because that means he fails.
Yep.
So that's 5. I'm spending 10 points to do so. Ladles and jelly spoons and everyone in between, this creature banishes from existence.
I'm sorry,
I cast a successful banishment.
I'm sorry. What?
Fuck off back to Grimmer Space. You're never coming back here again.
Without its arm.
I'm sorry, you what?
I cast banishment. I have that now. So, banishment, if we just need a refresher, if the target is nated to a different plane of existence than the one you're currently on, it is banished with a faint popping noise, returning to its home plane.
That's a long flight back, man.
Now, what I have to do is end my concentration on haste.
What are you gonna do about this?
My gut reaction is to cry as a free action.
No, that's the PC's reaction. What is your actual character gonna do?
Nora looks to the group and says, we need to serve an eviction notice.
Let's kill a cropper this time.
Where is it? What do you buy? And it just lets the kid go. Wait, is this better? This might be better. Guard for them. That would mean that the voice of the true faith is probably here as well.
Why is there so...
Why, Eric, would the voice of the true faith be here? If they have a job to do for speaking for the Father.
Uh-huh.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I didn't say anything else. I just said, uh-huh.
Oh, my God.
Right? Damn it, dude, I shot the fuck out of that guy. That was a bad round, everybody.
I headshot that chick and nothing happened.
What?
Like,
Yeah,
zeroed in.
You saw my
in the
man.
temple,
Clip someone.
pulled
Here,
the
I'm gonna see if I
trigger,
can clip
and
that
then
shit.
moved. Nothing happened.
Let me go to. Let's get across the fucking map.
He's over at the stadium. Leaving the stadium. Oh, it's probably the fucking.
I'm gonna go sweep this building while you're sweeping that one. That's right. That's a Cthulhu design on this bitch.
Ninja kick the damn rabbit. Go up the ladder.
No.
Oh god.
What? The milk jug plays a song. It's advertising. We're in sci-fi. I'm putting Adam on the spot because he makes songs up all the fucking time.
Oh, the milk jug plays a song.
milk
I
jug
thought you
plays
meant
the song.
carbonation in the milk plays a song. I was like, what the fuck?
We got milk jugs, we got finger blasted. This stream is rated PG, folks. No.
Yeah, pretty
I'm
gross.
waiting for him to pull out a Nick song is what I'm waiting for. I broke Adam.
God damn it.
Come on, what do you got for us?
God. Yeah, it starts bubbling up, and it hears almost like those fun little old timey jingles, where it's like crash milk, delicious. Put it in your cereal. It's crash milk, drink it all up.
Technically, not a milk.
Oh, I fell off.
It's gotta be mixed with crash.
Post-workout energy drink?
Beverage.
Post-workout
Beverage.
beverage. Wow, amazing. Nothing like a good energy drink.
Are you okay
Getting
over
super
there,
jacked.
Emily?
And it all goes sideways.
No, it's the post-workout beverage.
I
It's
know,
post-workout recovery.
that shit fucks you up if you ever had a lot of it.
I mean, at this point, you should just grow up and do cocaine.
Here's the thing, Todd. Cocaine's not in my contract.
Okay.
Crash a tape.
Well, if you spell it with a K, maybe it will be.
Well, everybody, don't do drugs.
Unless you're under contract.
Fuck me. Bear said, do I have to make another? Good night. No. A bunch of ship everywhere.
This happened to my cousin once when he went running off looking for his wooden boy.
He got trapped in a whale?
Yeah.
What was? I think I heard that story before, Ralph asked.
God damn it.
Oh, I may have told it. I don't know. I may have dreamt it. For all I know.
That's your
I think you brought it up at one point.
Right?
Yeah.
The boy's name started with like a P or something, like Pinot,
Yeah.
something.
Pinoshi.
Pinoshi
Pop.
Piccolo.
Pinochle.
It was Piccolo. He had
Pinochle.
green antennae. I remember this story.
Yeah, I remember the story too.
I love how you guys just played a game of telephone, yet you're all on the same call.
What? We went from Disney to Dragon Ball Z. What do you want? It's anime.
His name is Piccolo. That is canon now. That is Valfest's cousin. Trying to get away. She's bleeding like that goldish energy out of her. Especially with that ghoul hitter, like right here.
Grab someone.
Reach out and hug someone.
I'm grabbed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and that only needs one hand, so I'm using my other hand to pound on her.
Sure.
Just palm her
these-
face into the deck.
You want me to trip her?
Ooh, definitely remembering something now, I think. We need to be careful here.
Oh shit.
I think what you're seeing is.
If you
all
are
right.
drinking Diet Code Red Crash XL,
No one's
you
drinking
can
that
roll natural
besides you.
20s.
That stuff is disgusting. Who drinks that? Swill. Azuka.
I prefer the Baja Blaster.
Oh my god.
The Blue Baja Blaster, that's where your endorsement came
I can't.
That's right.
I can't.
Okay. I can't either. Everyone got their numbers in there?
Phil is to be quite fair, I've only been here for like half the break between, things were inactive. I've never actually been in the Green Ogre yet. Like
Oh no. Oh no.
I've just been in the VR training room the whole time.
We're gonna have another argument about what are
wearing the suit, it doesn't really constrict. It's not like a tight suit. It just almost looks like a weird like black and green like garbage bag over my big like teardrop body.
No. Well, there's a button you can hit, just like
the inverse
Back to the
Dorito?
Future, where it goes.
Oh hell yeah! Then I do that. Yeah, and it squelches me into like a
You kind of squirt it out of the top of it.
Yeah, and like
Fills it
settle
in, like-
into like this like humanoid human form.
Can you aim your camera up
head.
some Green Ogre?
He's
They're
like,
chopping your head off. They're, buddy, I see you're on camera right now. I got it up on the other monitor in here. You gotta drink that crash. You gotta do it proud. Suck it up. Trust me. I do it with you, but I'm all out. Can you give me?
Holy shit!
Right down the toilet.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry. It was
Broke
bad,
Eric.
You do it, I'll do it. And you hear a of him opening one. And he's like, "Sweetheart, I'm gonna die."
That twerking heart is Cinder's heart right
Twerking
now.
heart.
Oh god.
This go-
Hang on a second, because it's still catching up.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. I'm gonna lock it. Should be good now.
Yeah, it was good.
And pop some powers in there and do all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I can tell you what I'm gonna do when we're done with the stream. I'm gonna figure out how to sing.
I'm gonna spend a hero point.
Yeah, you got him. I will mark that hero point off here. So you're down to 2.
Much better, because it would have been an 11, but with the hero point, it is a 27.
You make the
Nice.
save. So high frequency sonic attack goes off, shattering things in the area. I deal 2d10 sonic damage to an object, ignoring the object's hardness. Well, you made your save, so I only get to do a whopping 1. So I do 2 points of damage to you. As you see, like, dents and stuff start to form on you, but it's not enough. You're not made of fragile material. Voss and his partner made you of better stuff than glass. And he looks
lean in, I'm like-
wide-eyed, expecting you to be broken.
I lean in.
No, you.
Oh.
No, not really. I was hoping Cinder would be here. I am his most dedicated fan. And he goes like this, and it pulls up the display of like all the times he has donated to repairs.
Oh, well, thank you for your patronage.
Give me a persuasion roll. I'm no disadvantage or anything, just a persuasion roll. Let's just see.
Divinity.
What is
Which
that,
for Void, I can create a barrier. I can make a void pocket into an impassable obstruction, basically in front for the next minute while I can.
Parties do the craziest things in games, and I found that parties do crazier things when they're on stream. So we used an orphan as a catalyst to solve a problem. And then they just paid someone to solve the problem, which is fine. I'm actually totally fine with them solving smaller problems with money. It makes players spend their money. But that does leave 5 of these spirits behind, and it leaves them at the Everston estate, which is where Loretta is, which is where the group is deciding to go. And Loretta is an extremely old, powerful elven spirit. Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't she like over 2,000 years old? So she's a 2,000-year-old elven spirit that's upset and having issues with her not being close to what she's fettered to, which causes them to be anxious and aggressive. And all of that is something that needs to be done. But the other big problem that they currently have is that Darkane, which is the Keeper of Nightmares that they've been dealing with since the beginning of the season, it's the whole reason this background's purple now instead, that the Avatar is the Plague Doctor who's been in the town since end of season 1, I think the Plague Doctor showed up. Beginning of season 2, something along those lines. He's been around for a long time. And it wasn't until Lillian showed up that they figured out who it was, because she spread a rumor about the guy's name and then really got back the answer and wishes she never would have started that fucking rumor. So, we are currently, the group is going to go speak to Loretta, and I'm going to start us at the gates. I think that makes the most sense. I'm not going to start him in the house, because you don't want to summon her, you want to go to her to talk to her. So I'm going to start us at the gates to the house. So I'm going to take us back to the group. I'm going to turn on the mics again and all that kind of jazz, since it hates me. So, Todd, you have keys to the estate, and you can access it and open the gate. And remember, they said that they didn't lock them away, but they definitely hid Loretta and Nero away to make sure that everybody was safe because of problems they were having with her anger. When you open the gate to go in, I'm going to assume that you took the downtime to build some stuff before you go handle the situation. Like, how much time, Drew, did you need to build your armor bracers? Like a week? Roughly?
Well, I can build them. I can build them in 3 days.
Okay, so 4 days with we'll say 4 days with getting the blueprint. Because you already got it shipped here, you go get it, you get everything set up, say 4 days in total.
Yeah.
Just ballparking. You can make the rolls on it afterwards. If it fails, then we'll deal with it. And then, is there anything else from the shopping list that you guys have made that you also want? As long as it makes sense that you could have it in that 4 day window, totally fine. So you reconvene, you talk to people, you get everything ready to go for 4 days, and you head out to see Loretta.
We can probably swap out Everston's runes at that point too.
Yep, sure.
That downtime.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Totally seems fine to me. Because downtime is, crafting and swapping things. You do have 2 workers that could do it for you. You have the 2 trainees, so they could probably help do that stuff to make things easier. Like, they can pick up making the armor bracers while you go do the swapping of runes, so on and so forth. With that said, going to see Loretta, all I want to know, are you bringing any special gear specifically for dealing with spirits? That's all I need to know. Anything extra you're buying other than that, that's great if it makes sense. If it's something that's special order, you guys have been gone for 18 months, we'll even say you ordered it before you left and that shit's been sitting in fucking storage. Totally fine with that stuff. But is there anything special? Like, are you going to bring really expensive salt with you? Are you going to load up ghost rounds in all of your guns? Are you bringing anything that's like a specific like spell or magical item to deal with spirits? Those are the things that I would need to know.
Yeah, we're gonna bring salt.
Which version? You do have a salt mine, though you do have access to a couple doses of Nodaric salt, but that shit's real expensive. And it ain't free. It just means you have access to it. And you do have some salt left over, because you guys bought some really special salt as well, and I don't think you've used it all.
We have...
For those watching, salts to make circles to stop spirits from doing shit.
Yeah, we used up both the Nodarics that we have, or that we had.
You used that with the Lady of the Tides, right?
We used one with the Lady of the Tides, then we used the other one to coat Nora's office.
Yep, that's right. That's right. To make it extra protected versus spirits.
Correct.
And that's on the train.
Yes.
Yeah, that's on the train.
And that's why I don't have that.
Yep, in your list of ridiculousness.
Let's see.
I can add it. No.
I have 1 holy salt left, and I've got 2 pre-sundering sea salts left. And I have a couple reliquaries on hand, but
So you think you should be good then? There's nothing extra then.
I mean, they're low level.
Well,
the reliquaries I have are low level.
It would take time to get a reliquary, but again, when you fetter a spirit, you're not really going to be refettering her. And if there's spirits on site, the best thing you can do is find whatever they were fettered to, or if they have an object here, like they're usually within the area, there's an object they were fettered to originally, or that's strongly tied to them, and you can use that. The only time you really need an object to fetter outside of, going into a house is like when you're out in the wild and you don't have an object. That's why Inquisitors carry the hands that close up and shit like that. But so there's nothing special other than that. Do you guys have your spells ready for this?
Let me check here. Yep.
He's like, yep, guns loaded, spells ready.
I have a bandolier with 6 moderate ghost charges.
Okay.
Just in case.
Jesus. Great powers. Are you bringing any contacts with you? Or are you all just going yourselves?
I feel like if Loretta's gonna yell at us for keeping the house away for too long, I don't want to get yelled at in front of an audience.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
That's me.
Don't disagree with you.
And the ghost charges are more for the other people.
Ooh, Barrett has played another Ember Priest. We haven't had Ember Priest played in a while. Note to self. And are you bringing Prith in, or are you leaving him back at the train?
I would check in with Prith, but I don't know if we should bring him along, because again...
We'll just say you checked in with him, though, but you're not bringing him?
Yeah.
Cool. He is much larger.
Okay.
He is now 26 cards have been played. Prith is now... Each card played ages him a year. He's in the multiplier for the egg, 26. So he's at wasn't it ×4 when he's in the egg? So 100 years older, a little over 100 years.
Okay.
Which makes him a young adult.
Yeah, I don't want bringing him and then everyone's like, oh god, there's a dragon, and they try and...
Okay, cool.
Ice him.
He will stay where he is then. I just want to make sure. These are all important when you try to pull shit out of your bag and pull things out of your ass. I just want to make sure, because this is that moment where that's going to happen.
Right. Well, I don't want him getting got.
So at the gate, Everston puts the key in, opens the door, or opens the gate. There is an immediate sensation of chill as everyone's hair stand up. Not the chill that was in the tundra, but that eerie presence of things that are supernatural being very, very strong. And it's like you just popped a bubble of it and is standing next to it when it goes off. As soon as it goes off, Nero immediately rounds the corner out of peripheral and makes his way towards the gate. Cane in hand, moving as quickly as he can. And when he gets to the gate, something grabs him and pulls him back through the front doors to the house, and the doors slam shut before he gets to say a word.
Do we see what grabs him, or just he's
you just see him
back Ghost Watcher style,
like spiritually manifested, not material, but like he's getting ready to talk, and something grabs him, feet and arms go out, and he gets ripped back through the window or through the doorway into the
Ghost Watcher style.
Yeah, yes, like Ghost Watcher style.
Yep.
Yeah. Gone.
Okay.
Well, that can't be good.
Do you want to go to the guest house to talk to Loretta first?
He got pulled in the manor, and you're right. Loretta did say we are staying in the guest house, which is north of the main area.
The reason I'm saying that is because I don't want to call Loretta out here, and then she gets sucked into the house as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably go to her.
All right. So you start rounding the path and going through the main courtyard. We've never shown the courtyard before. And I'm going to say a couple of things. The courtyard, one, has a fountain in it. Remember, it was overgrown. That has been maintained now. The weeds are gone. All of the tiles and things along those lines have been cleaned. I'm going to move us to the courtyard here in just a second. Around the fountain, you hear splashing as water is running in it from the snow that has melted, and the fountain is running, finally running again. It hasn't ran for as long as you guys have been here. There are 5 women sitting around the fountain, all in robes, but they have the hoods down now. They are spectral. That yellowish aura that's on them is faded a little bit. And one of the women is reading something to the others as you are making your way down the path and rounding to go around. Because I'm assuming you're staying on the tiled path and the brick path. You're not walking through the grass. You know, you're following the walkways. And they stop and look at you, and slowly, one by one, winks out of existence. And the one woman is still sitting on the fountain. So I'm going to move you to the courtyard. And this is on the way. This would be like right outside of the house. And it's a pretty big courtyard. There's benches that go all the way around that have slowly been repaired. Feel free to drag your characters out and put yourself anywhere on that kind of diamond-shaped path, making your way up. I'm going to move us over to the... Oh, I do have a map up. Good. Thought I didn't have a map up. Move yourself anywhere onto those that you would like. Clouds are passing over. The piles of snow have slowly, started melting away. And when these other ones wink out of existence, the other woman closes a book that she has and like tucks papers and closes it and puts it back into like lashes on her side. And the first thing you notice is she's material and the other ones are spirits. And I will move them into the other layer. Does the group pass by, or are they going to speak to this woman? And she looks like the woman to Lillian that walked up and talked to her at the gate.
Lillian is going to make sure that she is behind Everston.
Always the safest place to be. Within Shield's reach.
Absolutely.
She stands up and she looks at the group. She a little small head nod as she finishes latching the book back onto her side. She doesn't stand up, though.
Lillian will use the telepathic bond, which I'm assuming is in place.
Question 1, do you have that up, Drew?
Oh, absolutely.
Boss has it up. Excellent.
Absolutely.
I would like to... do you do it right before you come in, or have you had it up for part of the day? Has it been up for a couple hours?
I would have... no, I would have... because time moves differently in here. We've already discovered that. So
I was asking.
It would have happened right before we came through the gate.
Okay, excellent. So telepathic bomb, what are you asking then, Lillian?
So I will go ahead and just say like, and that's the woman who approached us earlier. Nora, she was speaking hollow. Was that right?
Yes.
She does when you are like standing and everyone's staring and no one said anything to her. In Hallow, she says, "If you're here to talk, I'm willing to speak." But in Hallow,
I look to Everson because it's his house, right? It's his manor.
It's his manor. It's his estate. Technically, his over his mother's because they're deceased.
Yep.
Good evening. As a duly designated representative of the city, county, and state of Merrifield, I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the nearest convenient parallel dimension.
I fucking love you. Wow.
Wow.
She goes.
In our mind link, I'm like, I feel like maybe we hang out a little too much.
I don't have a parallel dimension to go to. I'm here, and she looks around, and her eyes now, which were milky white before, are black and yellow. They look like abandoned. They're all black with a yellow ring around them. I don't really have another dimension to go to. I just haven't been able to leave the grounds.
What are your intentions here in Everston Manor?
To leave, preferably. But I mean, I don't own this building. I'm just trapped here. I died here, I think.
It's happened to quite a few.
They
When did you
died here and
arrive?
been reborn?
It's what the town does. It's what the lantern.
Right. And she kind of looks at everybody and she makes eye contact with Nora. Nora, you have a yellow and a blue eye now, don't you?
The one eye is completely blue. The other one is like half yellow and half blue, and it'll never go away.
Okay, tainted.
Yeah.
She looks at you, and you're making eye contact. If she died and came back here, that means an abandoned was born on premises.
And I say that.
It's never happened outside of
mind
turmoil.
blink. It did once, but we don't know about that. These characters don't know.
Correct.
So I share that information. I'm like, if she's an abandoned, she died here and came back here.
In the head, what's the yellow behind the eyes signify? 'Cause
It's
that's
illness.
not
It's
a
illness,
normal-
Voss. That's why my eyes are like this now. She's sick. I went to go to Dr. Marsden for treatment when it was successful. Unfortunately, the past 18 months have left a scar, so I think I'm going to be like this until I meet my final death.
Well, do you think the doctor could help?
Do you guys speak? She says in Hallow, as you guys are just like standing, staring at her, and murmuring to each other.
I say out loud, I'm like, I apologize. Most of our kind don't.
Can I leave through the gate that is open then? Is it feasible to leave now? The Thomas has asked me to leave.
I mean,
What happens if
so you
leave
know what
and
an atomus is?
I do. They were in the book. Machines fettered. I read it in the library in the house.
Ask her if she liked the flowers.
I speak common. It's not great.
The other spirits that were around you when we walked up, what is your relationship to them?
Oh, they all worked with me at the temple that we worked out of.
Which temple is that?
We worked as negotiators and contract writers for the constable in the city we're from.
Which city?
I don't remember. I don't even know where this is. I know where I am. I know that I'm on a continent. I know that I've been here for a little while. I remember everything being very dark for a long time, and I remember a fire. And I remember a lantern. And I remember the other people I worked with also with me in the darkness. I could hear their voices. I speak with them now. They seem to appear. I think they're spirits or ghosts. They don't travel far from me, though.
This entire time, I'm gonna roll to see if she's BSing.
Just passively. She's not.
Passive?
No.
Okay.
She's totally being honest.
Okay.
But I am willing to leave your. I'm assuming this is your home, and she points to Everston.
It is, yes.
I'm happy to leave. I've only been in the house to seek shelter. It was very cold, and there's a gentleman that was trying to help myself and the friends of mine with me to leave as well, but I have not seen him in what feels like weeks. Now, if you remember, every day that passes here, the time frame is much longer inside the manor. For spirits. For people, it depends on if you're in a pocket of activity. Because there's
Seeking shelter during the terrible weather, there's no harm done. We just have certain aspects of the manor that are dangerous. We just don't want anyone hurt in there. There are areas in the town where you can seek shelter for now. We can have one of our representatives help you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. The front door is locked. The back door is locked. The only door that has been open is the carriage house. But I don't dare wander upstairs. The last time I did, I tripped and fell. I think it's so foggy.
Are
How
you?
many taxidermied animals were there?
No, she's talking about the guest house.
Yeah, she's talking about the carriage house with the guest house above, which is where Loretta is. So she went upstairs and Loretta was up there. Fuck, who knows what happened?
Oh, yeah. Convenient trip.
As
Definitely an accident and coincidental.
As one of our kind, and I point to her and I point to me.
Yeah, I don't understand. I just saw myself in this water for the first time. I don't know what is going on.
Unfortunately, I don't have the time to give you a 101 course, and I'm not sure how much I'd be able to explain because it was different for me too. But you are ill, and you may need to seek medical attention.
Is there a doctor in town? Well, actually, a priest. She would probably say a priest. Is there a priest in town? She wouldn't even know what a doctor is.
There are priests, but things have changed. You may not want... I think you'd be better off seeing a doctor first.
I don't know what that is, if they can fix the problem. And she's wearing these big, heavy, yellowish, ochre-colored robes, and she rolls the sleeve up, and she's got this green armor on underneath. But her armor's burned up, and her skin, since Abandon had that kind of porcelain-looking skin, it looks like when porcelain is cracked from being lit on fire. And her skin her whole left side is like that. And her face, when she turns, you can kind of see along the jawline, like where she kind of probably got her arm up and covered it. Her whole lower jaw and her neck has also got that cracked porcelain look.
It's cracked, not scarred.
Yeah, well, it looks like scarred porcelain.
Okay.
Like it's scars on an abandoned. Like if she was sleeping, it would probably be burn marks.
Right.
Because when they sleep, it reverts back.
Yeah, so when I sleep, I'm
guess
gouged up.
Scars are cracked.
Yeah.
It looks cracked. Her skin looks cracked like porcelain does.
Got it.
Because skin cracks too when it burns up and separates.
Mm-hmm.
So she said that...
No, go ahead. You're good.
Sorry?
No, yeah, go ahead.
She said that the doors to the manor were locked.
I did try, yes.
So have you seen any movement from the manor? Anybody go in or out?
I understood out and in. I think you mean the house. No. Not actually, those doors just open and slam shut, but that's the first for me.
Okay.
But she's been staying in the guest house to the north.
So you said, sorry, out of game. So you said this is the woman that walked up to Foxglove at the
fence.
Fence.
Mm-hmm. She's one of the five. She's one of the 5 women. Yep. Pulled a gun on her.
So,
didn't point it at her. Just pulled it out of the holster. Didn't point it at her.
The other day, you had a run-in with someone at the fence, and you told them they weren't.
Sounded like her. I couldn't see very well. It was very foggy. My vision was bad. But it sounds like the woman standing behind the large metal person.
Right. You said that you owned the house now.
I never said we owned it. I said we are staying at the house. That's where we are. I didn't say I owned it. Never, actually. we were staying here because it was abandoned. There was nobody here, and then we got locked out a week ago, roughly. We've been outside in the cold. We've been here for a while. The man who was helping us, again, I don't know where he went. He's been with us for quite some time, months to a year. And if it's been 18 months, God only knows how long it feels to them.
Right. Doing occultism.
Sure.
See what she is.
She's an abandoned. You know what she is. She looks like an abandoned, has the same markings of abandoned, the eyes of an abandoned. She's ill. That would take time to look her over for that. You'd also have to get within reach to look her over, like within 5 foot if you're willing to do that. But there's no reason to make a check for that. She's an abandoned. What she was previously, that's different. You can't see that anymore.
So if she just became an abandoned, it happened for us overnight.
Correct. Correct.
Oh, she was not abandoned when I interacted
Nope.
with.
She was a spirit.
No, she was a spirit.
Oh.
Yup.
Very recent.
How long have you been like this? You said you just looked into the water recently.
You mean like this? I don't remember the last time I saw my reflection. Most of the mirrors when we were in the house were covered. And all the paintings downstairs where I woke up were also covered.
I see. And when was the last time you saw her? And I point behind Everston.
A couple of days.
See. So in my head, I'm like, so about the time that we brought the lantern back and the town back out, this could have possibly been around the same time this happened.
If our train traveled near turmoil.
She said she woke up in the basement of this place, though.
No, but I'm saying like something could have reached out on the train and gotten into the lantern.
Maybe, but she said she's been here for, at least a year.
Right, but I mean like the transformation part.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. I'm not saying that happened for real, but
maybe
for sure. But
she's the only one out of the 5 that are material. That's actually, an abandoned. The rest are still ghosts or spirits of some form.
Well,
and they disappeared when you walked up.
They didn't happen to everyone. Otherwise, I'd have more of my family here.
True. It is true. So, is there anything else, or can I go out and find this doctor?
If there's not, I'll give her like directions.
Yeah, you could send her to a doctor in the city. Probably.
Or here's the name of whoever.
Cool. The doctor in the city is the plague doctor.
No, not that doctor. Let's.
I hate to tell you.
Technically, I could.
There's only 2 doctors in the city,
but we're busy.
That's true.
There's one here currently, and there's the plague doctor, and there is the asylum if you want to send her to the asylum. Be like, oh yeah, head out of town down the road. Outside of it, there is a large building. They'll give you a beautiful room. Like, I heard your favorite jacket's a straight jacket. Like, if that's what you want to do.
What if we sent her to Terry and Jin for now?
Could send her there. They would wonder who the fuck she is walking into the town hall.
Where they've got the ground zero for all the experimentation.
Yeah, town's turned into like a search and rescue mission.
So, I mean, technically, we could possibly send her to my office since it's already been ransacked and they got most of the valuable information out of there.
Could do that.
We could have her wait there.
Could send her to the train.
Look out for plans.
There is a doctor's car on the train, but the doctor's car would have some medics that are there. But the plague doctor works between the train and his coach that's here. So that's a 50-50 gamble.
Well, that's why I'm saying we could just send her to my office and I could look at her once we're done here.
Yeah. So you give her directions through the city kind of thing then, if that's what you're going to do to get to your office.
Yeah, the reason that I don't want to send her, like, I don't want to send her to the doctor because of what we know now, but I also don't want her heading to the priests because
if she is following a keeper,
right after what she said with following, working on contracts with her fellows, I don't want her to be like, hey, so I need help, and they see her wearing anything that represents him. So I think she would be better off.
Sure. You give her directions. Go straight, make 2 rights. The building will say Tenwick's on it.
Yeah.
She goes, okay, what city am I in? Is this... I should know what the name of it is before I go walking around so I don't seem out of place. I definitely am out of place, but I would like to feel like I'm not. I can read most languages.
You're in Merrifield.
Merrifield. Oh, that's not a name I recommend or recognize. When I leave, will the spirits be able to come with me?
I kind of turn towards Voss, like, you're the spirit guy. What do you know? What do you think?
Buddy.
I was actually just going to ask you about them. Are they still with us?
She kind of looks around. She's like, yes, they're pretty close to me. They don't seem to leave more than like 25 to 50 foot from me. They stay close. Sometimes I can't see them if they're too far.
Madam, I'm sorry, madam. What is your name?
Oh, Corey Hall. Miss Hall, I guess, is probably the proper term.
Miss Hall, would you mind if I approached you?
No, not really.
And might I take a look at what you're wearing a little bit more closely?
That is a very odd question.
Boss, we don't have time for this.
Just trying to get her number.
I understand. I am, without going too deep into it, I am a fetterer. A fetterer. I work in dealing with souls and with...
Let's see if she knows what the fuck that word means.
Making sure that they have a
you're
place.
A binder.
Yes, exactly. That's another way.
Which
of putting
keeper
it.
do you
Well,
follow?
I follow no keeper. It is a different form of binding. It's not binding is where our art started from in a way, but it is much different now. It's more of a.
Give me a persuasion check.
It's more of a maintenance.
Everything you're saying is definitely off-putting to someone who has no idea what any of the words are, and you're asking to see more of her, which seems like you're coming on to her awkwardly.
Too good.
It just doesn't. Let's piece this together with a persuasion check.
Amir, did you give me a patch earlier? I don't know.
No,
if
he
you
did not.
I
think Foxglove got all of them. If I remember.
I got one earlier.
Oh, you got one too.
I'm going to use a hero point then.
All right, using a hero point. Marked it. Go ahead. Patches and hero points, for those who are watching that are new to the show, are the same. I just don't grant hero points in this version. The Stream Loot cards do. And the patches are from people who bought them from the website, and that allows them to grant a person on the show a hero point. So that's what the patches are for.
Well, that was worse. I rolled a 2 on the die, so my diplomacy is only a 23.
So when you get within 15 foot of her, those other 4 spirits manifest in front of her.
Oh, perfect. Hello, ladies. So the reason...
Boss, that's not how you start this conversation.
Boy, man, nothing like being a Vogue.
So, Miss Hall, the reason I was asking about what you were wearing is because nowadays, spirits bind themselves to things that they are either familiar with or, well, they don't really bind themselves. Normally we have to do it, but many times it can just happen, and we're not sure why. But I'm curious as to what you're wearing, because you say that they don't stay, or they don't go much farther than a certain radius from you. I'm wondering if maybe they're bound to something you're wearing.
How far do you walk up when you see them all manifest around her?
Well, you said I got to 15 feet, so
Yep,
here?
So, yep, right there. They manifest and they float here, 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 and here.
Okay.
They're floating. They are all burned up. Easily from looking at them between you and Nora, you can tell they were next to wherever the blast was, and the burns are all, front side or side as they tried to cover themselves. But their clothes are all burned up and disheveled, and they're very skeletal looking. They are wearing armor, though. They are all wearing at least, I would say, half plate for most of them. Some are wearing like scale to breastplate.
I'm going to do an occultism.
Sure. Anyone else who's viewing them that wants to roll can.
That's good. That's an 18 on the dot. 48.
Yeah, okay. They are Grave Knights.
What do I know about them?
I will tell you. They are Grave Knights. Grave Knights, there's a few versions of them out there. A Grave Knight is the base level. They're usually a warrior in death. Some are very infamous and evil. Other ones are not. An example in like history of what a Grave Knight would be like the Black Prince. With a 40, they have dark vision. They heal through negative energy. They have rejuvenation. Those are like the major ways, like they're really hard to kill. Think of like almost like a Death Knight.
What's the Death Knight? Okay.
Almost.
Are they
they're
bound
a
to a specific? Okay.
In Ethauntia, a Grave Knight is there's usually a group of them that would operate together. If this group is saying they were notaries and people who did contract work for a organization or a place, they had probably traveled and did it for the different cities and villages within a baron, a king, or someone's land. And they would travel and write all the contracts and shit like that. Do all the land deals and, how much of the farm goes to them every winter. A lot of times they were killed by the people that are making contracts for because they're not really greedy. They just don't give a fuck about you. They're just doing their job. As a Grave Knight, though, they continue doing that stuff with a really high amount of almost like zealous nature.
Gotcha.
And when you're within the area of them, you can feel the amount of just effect they have around them. Enough to where you can almost see their auras in the area. Which is, you shouldn't see anything like that. Like auras are something you feel. You can almost see theirs. Like there's a flicker or a shimmer in the air around them. None of them pull weapons, though. I will state that. They are just standing in defense.
Do they have weapons?
Yes, they do have weapons.
Are they armed with like sword and shield, or do they have firearms like she did?
No, she has a firearm. They have a longbow and great swords. Probably a dagger on their boot, but they have composite longbows, and they have these ones are wearing scale mail and great swords.
Okay, I kind of relay all of that information to everybody in my head as I'm thinking it. Like, oh, I know what these are. It's like, I see. It's very interesting. So, were you tax collectors by any means, or just dealing with contracts, land deals, that type of thing?
Well, we were notaries for a king back in the day. I'm assuming.
Really?
Seeing this, and she like looks at the ground, the shit that looks so different than what she's used to. I assume we're not in that time anymore.
You are not, madam. No, not at all. Eric, do I have any idea with my huge ass occultism roll?
I'll give you two questions. Because it's actually not that huge.
Okay.
You said it was a good size.
Can they survive outside the gate with her?
Well, normally grave knights are not incorporeal. They're usually physical and dead.
That's interesting.
They're usually physical undead that are manifested through heinous acts or being granted unlife in the end. But so the way they're created in general, you can turn an existing living creature into a grave knight by completing steps to turn them into it. Sometimes it's through cursed armor, sometimes it's through the curse of a person, or through raising them as a grave knight. Each way is a different manifestation, but never are they spectral. They are always material. And she is not one. She is definitely an abandoned, 100%.
Okay.
Did anybody else make an occult roll?
I didn't want to make an occult roll, but
Okay.
I wanted to ask for a different roll potentially.
Sure, what do you want?
Can I roll to see if these were the spirits that I saw in the manor in the sub-basement?
Sure. Wow, that's a pretty big recall knowledge. What knowledge would you want to use for that?
I don't know if you want to do perception or just a straight up like intelligence plus level, or recall.
Gravelighter lore?
Yeah, Gravelighter lore. Do you have Gravelighter?
Okay. Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense because you're remembering something that would be tied to this. That makes sense.
Right. Okay.
And Lillian, I don't think she never was in the manor before yet, I don't think. Other than the one time that Loretta gave her the fucking 5th degree. And that she just manifested a room around her.
There's a 36.
Does anybody else want to make an occultism roll? Because a +2 could give me a solid 50.
36?
Yeah.
You only moved one thing that would make sense, but in the room where the lanterns were being made, there was a bunch of portraits in there. And there was a group of a group of 5 women sitting like on like a chaise lounge, a chair. And they were all in like leather armor. And their armor was strewn out amongst the tables, being polished and cleaned. And this armor looks like that. It's really hard to tell if the women look like that because they're so burned up. If you want to make an occult roll, you could.
Are these from the manor or from
the manor, from the sub-basements in the manor.
Sub-basement. Okay. In the various portraits.
They were in one picture together.
Oh, they're in one picture.
My occult brings all the ghosts to the yard. God damn it. Lillian, if you'd like to make one, you can. There's not really a lot more to learn on what they are, but maybe on the situation.
I did roll occult to assist boss.
Oh, you don't even do that. I would just roll your own.
Okay.
Because then you might get extra questions out of it. He only got 2 out of that 40.
I didn't know if 50 would open up something else for us.
Yeah.
A 50? It wouldn't be 50.
Yeah, because he got a 48.
I got a 48.
Oh, yes. Then yes, a 50 would. Yeah, 100%. I apologize. I thought you had a 40, not a 48.
No, 48.
When a 48 to a 50 would give you this information. If she manifested and she is now an abandoned, she's probably tied to a lantern already. Or now. Because you have a spirit tied to your lantern that manifests and comes out.
Yeah.
You have a couple of them, actually. And the way that this world re-manifests people who are dead, one of the ways they bring them back is an abandoned. If it doesn't understand, like, if the way that you animate somebody or bring them back from the dead, if there's no body to bring them back to, they would probably come back as something else. But if their bodies were still in the basement when they were reanimated, that's one of the ways that it happens. But that means only she was.
The manor caught on fire a long time back. That would explain the burning, but the timing doesn't line up.
If they were spirits in the... Actually, during all of this, Nora's actually being quiet.
Okay.
Like, mentally.
Okay. So she goes, I'm sorry if the ladies are protective. Miss Tenwick, I'll make my way to the office. I really don't feel comfortable showing you more of me. That seems very odd. Also, we're outside, and I don't know you.
That's very fair, madam.
If there's something you wish to ask me, you should just ask. Because there's a lot of eyes staring at me and not a lot of questions being had.
Well, that's fair. I can understand why that would be. Why would that would make you uncomfortable?
Also, you're a bird.
I am.
I've never seen one before that talks.
A lot has changed.
Boss.
I mean, it's just a truthful statement. Like, you're a talking fucking vulture.
Mm-hmm. Voss Calcor, madam, at your service. I work for the Emerald Order and the Director of Expanse.
That's a great title. It sounds like you probably own land somewhere and you probably signed a lot of paperwork.
I wish. I mean, I did sign a lot of paperwork, but no. It's it is a title in effect and not substance quite a bit of the time. I'm sure you understand how it is.
Yeah, it's like when you give somebody a barony, but really they don't own anything.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you give them a swamp. That's usually how that goes.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Swamp. Yeah, if water were more prevalent in the world, it might actually be quite nice. Anyway.
Swamp? You don't have swamps. Never mind. Never mind. I don't care.
There's a lot.
I don't care.
There's a lot.
She says, I only wish to pass. If you wish to meet me at this Miss Tenwick's office, I will stay there with the ladies if they follow me until I'm told otherwise.
Very well. It was a pleasure making your acquaintance, and I would like to speak with you at length later, if it is all possible.
I don't think I have anywhere to go from what this seems. And as she says that, the women all turn and look at her kind of like one at a time, and then their heads snap back in unison and look at Voss. Voss, I need a will save.
Okay.
And this answer
it's a
disappeared.
40.
Okay. They turn back at you. It looks like they were trying to read alignment and read aura.
Oh, okay.
And they disappear. And she walks by the group. She literally just goes like this, walks by, nods to everybody.
As she's walking past me,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be like, one more question, Miss Hall. It's just curiosity. Do you
Kelly's
seem
line.
to have any type of duty now that is prevalent to you? Is it still what you were doing, or
I have no
do
idea
you
what
feel
you're
like
trying
you
to
have-
ask me with that question.
Well, as you were in life, as you were dealing with contracts and such, do you feel like you have a new purpose at all? Or do you feel like you still have that purpose for what you originally did?
I don't really understand what you're saying. Purpose is something you choose. If you're saying, do I have faith in something? I never have. I wasn't a faith person. I worked for someone.
As do I. I mean, in a...
Boss, we
You
can
feel
discuss
differently.
this. We can discuss this later. We have someone else we need to talk to.
She does not get what you're asking at all. I know what
Okay,
you're
that
saying. Like,
answers that
do you
question.
feel like you're a Gravelighter? That's what you're trying to ask without asking, but she doesn't feel that. It's the only thing I feel is that the women who are with me are somehow bound to me or tethered to me or following me. But that's only because they keep showing up even if I don't ask them to. And I am not a religious person. Even before this happened, I wasn't religious then. I am not now. I'm reborn, or I didn't die. Maybe magics, a contract of some form brought me back. I don't know. What I can tell you is this is not the city I was originally in. This is not a time that I understand. And I sure don't understand you or this thing on my hip that fires projectiles, but they're not arrows. But it does work very well. I don't.
It's called a pistol.
Oh my god.
Excellent. It works well. It kills things.
It does. Please don't fire that in town, or I will have to start an investigation
Not a
into your
monster.
actions. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm trying to break the ice.
I don't just murder people. There's rules and laws, and I don't know them here, so I prefer not to do anything or say anything that may get me in trouble.
Very smart.
And when she like walks by and she kind of walks into like the shade of the trees, she reaches underneath her cloak and pulls out a lantern and lights it and walks her way out under the trees and into the city and starts making her way towards Tenwix. Have a good one. I'll see you soon, I would hope.
Yes, indeed.
Excellent.
Absolutely. And if you see any of us around town, feel free to come to us if we don't see you first.
Well, I'm going to stay at the office until this woman comes back to her home and tells me what's going on, and we have an actual talk that isn't about me taking my clothes off.
To be fair, Miss Hall, be aware that time passes differently here. So I might
the city or in
the manor, in the grounds. So it
Gotcha.
might be a little bit before I get there, but Daria will be able to assist you until I return.
No, sounds great. Good luck on your way. And she makes her way out of the area and leaves you guys in the courtyard. Nobody else is there. The spirits are gone from what you can tell. Honestly, we need a pamphlet. Welcome to Merrifield, city on the move. Here's your pamphlet. Here you go.
To
Okay,
the right,
not a bad idea.
To the right is the haunted manor. To the left is the pedestal where the Gravelighters do their thing.
We have a printing press.
You do have a printing press now.
Yeah.
Totally do it.
So if you make your way back towards Loretta's area, I'm assuming towards the carriage, and this is where we're going to close out for the night. When you get into the carriage house, Loretta's carriage is there, which you've always had an inkling that she's had transportation here. There are 2 skeletal horses laying on the ground, obviously dead from time. Not like skeletals animated, but just skeletons laying there. The carriage is in disrepair, but it's still pretty nice. You've talked about repairing this in the past, I'm sure, just haven't gotten around to it. You have another carriage that comes from the carriage house that's on the outside, which is a smaller one. And in this place, the walls, the floor, the ceiling are dripping with water. And there's probably a good 1.5 to 2 inches of puddle on the ground. There are stairs that go upstairs to a second floor. You're guessing that's where the guest house is in this larger area in the manor. In the carriage house. And you hear a woman singing in some form of Elven. Same nursery rhyme.
It's her, right?
Yep. Same voice. You would know immediately. It's a nursery rhyme she's saying for as long as you can remember. It's not even really a nursery rhyme. It's more like a bedtime song, like something you'd sing to your kids to put them to bed. And you know she used to sing it to keep herself calm. It's kind of like that nervous song you would sing to make sure, everything's gonna be okay.
Ichabod Crane whistling in the woods.
Yeah, less creepy. Actually, probably more creepy. What am I saying? She's a fucking evil spirit. So, are you going upstairs immediately? Are you investigating this area? Or are you calling her downstairs? It's kind of really the only 3 options you have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would like to go to her.
Okay, I'd be upstairs then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is anyone else cool with that, or they have a opposing opinion? We don't have to rush.
Are you going
into
by
the
yourself?
trap or whatever. Good.
Do you all want to check up down here while I head up and then join me in a moment?
I can take a look around. It might be better for you to talk to her alone, so that there's not as much pressure with other people watching, much as Miss Hall had mentioned.
Okay.
And then if there's trouble, let us know. I can't
You'll be
believe
the
I'm
first to
actually.
hear it.
I can't believe I'm actually pulling this out. I reach into my satchel of holding. I pull out the potion of water breathing, and I turn to Voss and Voss and Lillian. Go, who would like to have a potion of water breathing just in case? I don't know if either of you have spells to take care of that.
Water breathing? That is not a spell I have. No.
No,
That
it's
is
very
not,
rare,
That is not
actually.
something. That is not something that that he has.
I also no.
Like, I just, because that was one of the things I found.
No.
No, neither one of you is a taker.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
mean, I
was going to say, Lillian, if you don't want it, I will take it, but go ahead and take it.
I think it makes more
you know
sense
what?
to give it to the bird than the snake.
Right,
Like,
but
I
she
feel
tried
like
to
you would
drown
be-
you once before, so why don't you take it? I think that's probably the better.
Funny that you mentioned that. It says written down. I have a list of people that Loretta doesn't really like when she's angry. And the top of that list is Lillian.
Yeah, why don't you take it? Go ahead and take it, love.
Okay.
I think you're better off with it, mate.
So
It lasts for about an hour.
As Everston walks up the steps and you guys start to look around downstairs, as soon as you break the threshold to make it up through the stairs, standing sideways, because this area is not really made for someone of your stature. But upstairs, it's large enough that you can stand in here without problem. She is sitting next to a fireplace that is off with water running out of it. And it's almost like a broken toilet or plumbing. It is running out and buckling the floorboards and dripping down the floors and the walls. Inside that pool of water inside the fireplace, you can hear a kid or a woman, something with a higher sounding voice, crying inside. And Loretta is taking bricks and setting them in front of the fireplace and bricking up the fireplace. And you can see throughout the room, she's done the same for the windows. All the windows are bricked up and mortared in. She's built an extra wall in the room to shorten the room. And there is a area to walk into that small area that she's spaced out. But the interior wasn't brick, it's wood, and she is bricking all of it.
And she's still humming that song.
And she's still humming the song. And to get into the room alone, you would have to knock down some of the bricks to get in, but there is an area where the door would be that's halfway bricked up that you could speak to her through. Do you peer into the room to be able to see more of it? Or are you going to speak from her from the other room? I'd like to know how we're ending the show.
I would like to.
Or are you Kool-Aid Man?
Approach.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I would like to start by saying,
A long time since I've heard that song.
and then kind of start moving in.
Give me a persuasion check with that to see the starting grounds for our next episode. I'm going to write it down.
Diplomacy check.
Yeah, diplomacy, yeah.
31.
31. She stops. She sets down this makeshift trowel made from a wooden spatula, spoon. It's all flattened out. And she leans into the fireplace and she says, "Be quiet or I'll brick it all up." And she turns around and starts walking through water that fills up to the knee in here. And she turns and looks at you. She is the old version of her, Elven. She's got that red glow to her, but it is faded a little bit. She's more of this purplish hue. When she gets to the door, she reaches down and starts grabbing bricks and mortaring the bottom again and starts to finish filling the door up as you're talking to her. She says, "Oh, Everston, it is wonderful to hear you. What is your what are you doing here, and why are you not in the house clearing it of all of the vagrants staying there?"
My priority has been you. I want to make sure you're okay before I clear them out.
Protecting myself, and I have locked away the creature causing this problem inside of the circle I have made. And you see on the wall, now that you're looking, she's painted something in red on the brick wall around the fireplace. And you can hear something crying from there, but you don't see a person, just water pouring out of it. And she's like, "I am fixing my problems. You fix your problems. We need the manor. Clean it out so we can use it. I'm going to run out of space for all the people in here."
Who do you have here?
The town was crowded. I was told to get rid of some of the spirits. Oh, that music. Creepy.
Right? Perfect timing.
You wait right here. We'll go take care of the manor. Don't do anything else until we come back.
Well, I will finish bricking up this fireplace. We don't need keepers roaming the manor. And she turns around and starts bricking, going back, carrying them over with more mud that she mixes in this old, like, wash basin, and she starts bricking up the fireplace.
Through the telepathic bond, I will say,
I think I'm going to need you all up here right now.
I kind of look over to Nora and Foxglove, like, right. And he kind of turns and starts moseying over to the staircase.
So as you guys mosey through the first floor to close us out, the windows outside, you can see outside now. You're definitely stuck in something within the manor. You're guessing some form of a haunt that you haven't really cleared out the entire place. But Loretta being here has sent some form of like super paranormal activity. So much so that outside of this place, you can see Earthguard running by in old garb with guns lining up around the building, and you can see but not hear gunshots going off outside of the carriage house.
Like into the carriage house?
No, like they're taking, like, basically they're moving forward, like into a forward position. They're taking cover around the carriage house and firing at things that would be in the city.
And that tracks. You ran into that in first season too, so.
You did. And with that, you don't hear the gunshots, you just see people, and you hear the song go off again, and Loretta's singing. As Everston calls for everyone to come up, and water is pouring out of the room that she's built upstairs, as the tears of this creature she's bricking away in a fireplace. For my last check for the night, Everston, because you're the only one who could see it, can you give me a religion check? Before she bricks it up.
No.
Natural 20 for a 39.
All right, Todd. Nothing like the natural 20s when Eric doesn't want them.
You son of a bitch.
What? Why are you what?
Nothing. It's fine.
What's your theory here? I want to hear it, Drew.
Theory's it. We're fucked.
What's your theory? You think you know what it is?
I have a suspicion. It doesn't line up with anything I know about, but things are, always changing.
Okay. Just breaking it up. Inside the fireplace, you see the eyes of a woman inside the fireplace. The hands come over, blue skin with golden lines on them, almost like tattoo decorations. Her skin's like a deep, deep blue. Her head is shaved, and she's got the same kind of marks around her face. Her eyes are a bright gold with like specks of silver in them. As she leans out to say something, almost like someone hit fast forward on a tape or a video, you see her get sucked into it as the bricks quickly fill the fireplace. And you believe that to be the Keeper of Dreams being bricked away inside the fireplace. Okay. With that, we're going to end tonight's show. I guess we're opening with you guys dealing with Loretta and possibly a previous war that happened here, which Nora is correct. We did deal with this in another season, and there were Earthguard running in, and they were fighting something in a spiritual war. But now it's manifested. Yep. And the longer you take, the more likely you are to have to deal with some of these manifestations of the war going on, which means like rifle shots coming through the building and things along those lines. You have to figure out if you're going to handle her or if you're going to go do what she asked and go into the manor and clean up the problems that are going on there. Next week is a short episode. I only have about an hour left of this show because you guys did some other stuff instead of doing this. So we're going to kind of merge 2 episodes together next week, which means you'll deal with Loretta and possibly the Keeper of Dreams. Maybe. But what I wanted to point out is that this week I will be putting up our new Living Ethauntia. AW got his character tonight. We're going to be playing our Dream Knights, which this all ties into what we're doing with that. Dream Knights, I'm sorry, but you will be in the city dealing with this war that is currently going on for our Sunday episode.
Oh man, I'm gonna be so useful as my level 1 inventor.
Yep. So get ready to handle some of these problems in the city as the dream world is, well, not dream world, the haunt is merging into parts of Merrifield, and you'll be dealing with some of it, hopefully finding a way to help them on the inside. On Sunday, if you do well, you will give bonuses to Tuesday. Which is how I've done all these shows. If you do poorly, it's going to be real bad at the start of our Tuesday episode. I can't wait. It should be fun. I don't know who's all going to sign up. I'll put up the full version of what we're going to be doing tomorrow so that everyone can look at it and sign up for our show, or not our show, our game on Sunday. Well, cast, you guys made it out of the tundra. We are now going to be back in Merrifield. We are dealing with some big end stuff. You're level 15 now. You're in the deep end of the pool now. Deep end of the pool.
Thankfully, we have 2 casters since this is generally a low magic campaign.
You do, and you have 2 casters. Get your undead spells ready. Get your spirit spells ready. I promise there's a lot of shadows here. Our witch should have fun with that. Illusions are probably a good idea for some of this to confuse people if you don't want to fight them. And other than that, I was gonna raid someone tonight, but I don't think anyone I know. Perception Studio's still on. We'll probably raid Perception Studios. But before I do that, I'll be around tomorrow for Seek and Destroy. Does anyone else have any shows this week quickly before we close out since we went long?
Not this week, but next week. Let me check the date. I'm great at dates. So,
Vampire?
Yep, October 1st. 11 a.m. CST. I will be on Ladies of D&D as part of the ensemble cast for A Clockwork Dark, Rome by Night, Vampire the Masquerade game. So if you like vampires and you like vampires drinking protein shakes and being bros while being confused, and you like everyone trying to figure out why is this fledgling Tremere now the Prince of Rome, you should check us out.
I forgot you were a bro. I totally forgot that. Drew, do you got any new shows this week, or are you doing your art and industry on Thursday?
Plan is to do Artists and Industry on Thursday. I will say, if you were going to come to Spooky Games Thursday at 8, be there at 8. Because the countdown clock is going to be special.
Oh, no. I don't know what that means. I hope someone's going to die immediately in Spooky Games. I hope that's what that means. Damn, I'm disappointed. Allie, you got any new shows this week? I know your Ladies of the Lake are all tied up.
Yep. Season 2 for that, I believe, is kicking off in January. On Sunday, they will be doing an Ambrica backstory one-shot, I believe, for Cher's character, Kosadi, the Eldritch Knight.
Okay.
And we'll be getting that started pretty soon. Other than that, we're just kind of going full swing with In December. And I think I can announce that we're going to have a special Halloween week stream of Bloodlines and Black Magic.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be fun. So more info on that.
Cool. Well, that's it for us tonight. Long show, but we haven't been these characters for almost 2 months. Just about. So we had a little catching up to do, get us back into Merrifield, so I went a little long, and we started late too. I'll be around at 5 tomorrow for Seek and Destroy. Thursday, I'll obviously be around for watching paint dry with the brand new dice box that we're doing for our Laffle. Lots of entries for that this week. Last week. And then Sunday we'll have our show, and I can't announce the other thing I want to announce. I have something else I want to announce, but I can't. If you're looking for merch for our show, I put the merch link up. The Dice Box Wave 2, the pre-orders are up right now. All those pre-orders will go to Riddles here at the end of the month. So if you're trying to get one of the 2 big vaults or the Hex box, get those in while you can. And then, all the shirts and everything around there. They'll be going on for a while, but we're switching the box after a little bit. Paint scheme switches in October.
I don't get paid till October 13th.
Well, I don't tell you. Let's figure it out. Your cast will figure it out. So there is one other thing I should probably mention. We are going to be doing in October, if we hit 1313 for our cards. Let me go to something that has the cards on it. We're going to be doing Darkest House, which is a Monty Cook Games thing. We're at 1071 out of 1313, so we're pretty close. I would like to do it in October at some point in time. We're going to do a little bit of a marathon game for it, and we're going to be running their new characters for Campaign 2 in the Darkest House. So I've mentioned this on another show, so that'll be coming up if we hit that goal. If it doesn't happen in October, we'll push it, but December's a weird month. We probably won't be able to do it till after the first of the year, but October's perfect for it. I would love to do the Darkest House because it is a haunted house dungeon crawl, sort of. So weird. But we'll be doing that with their new characters, which I know a lot of them are super pumped. They've been making their Campaign 2 characters in the background since I announced what we were doing. And I wanted to at least mention that that's where we're at. So 2071 is what we're at. 1313 is what we're looking for. All of our cards that get purchased and used during the Sunday game for Living Ethauntia, all that counts towards it. So don't worry about how do I get it? Anytime we're live, those cards will work. And I'm going to try to eke in a town hall here before the end of the month. So that's it from us. Say goodbye, everybody. I have no GM minute afterwards. And we're going to go raid Perception Studios, the lovely, creepy puppets over there. So the Perception Studios raid is started, and we will go say hi to them, drop a bunch of emotes, and remember, everybody, beware. The tides will find you. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for watching the show tonight, everybody. We're so happy you joined us, picked up packs. Thanks to all the new people who followed tonight and subscribed. We will see you next week, same time, 7:15 for the pre-show, 7:30-ish for the live show. We love you all, and we'll see you next week.